Hey, Sean.
Donnie, I'm glad we're still doing this, man.
Sweet hangs.
Sweet hangs. I saw the Jake Gyllenhaal gif you just had there, man. Like, how do you even find that? Like, what do you even?
I have no idea.
What do you type to get like the hand? The hand
thing. I type hang loose.
Hang loose.
And you get all the Pauly Shore, Gyllenhaal, all the 90s.
Pauly Shore. Oh my gosh. Holy, there's something about like 90s stars who have kind of fallen off that when they resurface, I mean, yeah,
Pauly
being kind of being polite there, maybe. I don't know what he was on a podcast lately. I saw a clip show up on YouTube or whatever. I'm like, there's something. No, it was better than you'd expect. Kind of like a Steve-O kind of turnaround. Like, look at that guy. Like, he shouldn't be alive.
Pauly Shore? Yeah, maybe I'm just out of the loop on my Pauly Shore.
I wouldn't say that like he
not Steve-O.
He wasn't like philosophizing or anything like that, or I don't know. It's just interesting. They come back and like, oh yeah, look at that. He aged, like you remember him a certain way.
Of course. No, that for sure. Yeah, that for sure.
And then they just kind of resurface. You're like, oh yeah, look at that. There he is. It's gonna happen to all of us one day, Donnie.
Oh, for sure. I mean, it's happening. I'm in the midst of it happening.
I guess you gotta like.
I'm recording it. I'm documenting it. I'm documenting it happening. You hear me when I record with Rebecca?
The aging process.
I feel like I'm talking to a middle schooler.
What is cash exactly?
Right.
What do you do with cash? Where do you get it from?
She's like, huh?
I still have like, and hopefully these memories stay along for a long time, but like, I don't know if there's like an age as you get older, like your brain just doesn't remember like further and further into your past. So if I turn like,
I think that's how memory works.
No, but do you know what I'm saying? Like, I feel like I've remembered 6 years old for a long time, but like, if I get too old, will I only be able to remember up to 10 years old? Does that make sense?
I got you.
Like,
I
there's
think
like
it's
this
more
moving...
of I think you remember the things that come to you more often, like the things that you choose to remember stick with you.
Yep.
And if you keep remembering those things instead of other things, then those other things will fall away.
Well said.
I think of it more like RAM.
Yes.
You know, like you only have so much space. Yes. And then like once you save that space for these memories, then you can't overwrite them anymore.
I'm worried about like a defrag process that will just like lose some things forever.
That'd be Alzheimer's. Yeah. That's
that
is the ultimate defrag process.
It's coming. It's in my DNA, man. Like, I mean, I feel like I already activate it on a certain level, but I remember things like being 6. I like remembering things when you're 6 is strange because, you're not really all that smart at 6, or at least I wasn't.
Is that the earliest memories you think you have?
I think so. Like,
I think that's about right.
I do have a memory.
6, I have a few memories. Yeah.
I think I was 4 when my younger sister was born, and I seem to remember that.
That's a huge moment. Yeah.
You would
think so. Yeah.
Well, and mostly because we were hanging around the West Edmonton Mall, which is across the street from the hospital that my sister was born at. But that's a weird thing to remember.
I mean, I'd imagine you're that young, you go to a mall. I mean, that's a big experience. You're seeing lots of lights, a lot of new things. You know, like that stuff gets like hard coded into you. Like, you know, that's a seminal experience.
It feels more like a dream. Like it feels different from other memories. Like when I think about it, it's like, is that real memory? I don't know. Memory is kind of a weird thing, but I remember like learning from like this is the weird part about remembering 6. Like you remember learning lessons, and you go like, I was today years old. Like I remember asking my mom like, I can't remember. This might be embarrassing for her, but she would say like, we want something, and she goes, we don't have money for that, and I would say just go to the grocery store because they always give you money, and what I didn't realize was they were just giving her change.
Yeah.
That was it.
Yeah,
I just thought they just gave her money. I didn't understand
this is how economy works.
Yeah, nope.
Go to the money store.
But I remember that like before and after of like not understanding that, and then that's kind of an important thing.
I have a really like great memory. I can remember like what things that people said, concepts. I can remember. I'm very visual. I remember what people are wearing. I can find a place. I can describe a place like to a detail.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me about you.
Except for time. Time is the one that usually gets me. I can put you in the scene with what you were wearing and what you said, but I can't necessarily always put it in the right time. I always seem to be a year or 2 off. Everything seemed to be further away than I remember it, or closer than I remember it. Like I can never. That's the part that gets me. So like I'm really great at like if I remember like where I put something, like that's lockstep. Like that's exactly where I put it. But when did I put it there? It's iffy.
Yeah, it's only getting worse as time goes on. I think the pandemic messed with everybody's sense of time. Honestly,
yeah.
Like 3 years, just like
I've always been
kind of gone.
I noticed this. We'll do I don't know, we'll do Jeopardy or we'll do TikToks, or they'll be like, this song came out in what year? Yeah. And I'll be like 96. It'd be like 1998.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty
94,
good.
1997. You're like, I'm always off by just a couple. Always off.
I'd be off by like a decade. Like the, what are the first, I don't even know what they're called. What are the aughts? Can you explain to me are the aughts the first
the double
years?
O's. Yeah.
Aughts. Okay. I get messed up with that all the time. Like I will jump from the year 2000 to 2010. I was probably drunk the entire time.
So that's what my wife has a theory. So I won't get into it, but you know, like you've heard the stories of how like I grew up, my childhood. She's like, I think you just don't remember that. So like everything backs up a bit. She's like,
totally.
Your place of time is always off by like 3 years.
But 3 years that's not too bad. Like I challenge a lot of people. I think there's got to be like a trivia game we could do with people. I think you're better than you're making it sound. I think
maybe
because like I don't know,
it's
like
strangely how accurate and detailed I can be to like the what.
That's fair.
That's the thing. It's like I can like my wife has learned not to. Like if I'm like, no, I remember exactly what happened. She's like, that's exactly what happened.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm really good with like, I am that person's probably really annoying to like watch movies with. I am that person that can, I'll see an actor and like spout off 7 other things that person did in the other role. Like, yeah, that's how my memory works.
I wouldn't be annoyed by that. I don't think, but maybe for some.
Yeah.
People have very specific ways they want to be watching movies, and especially at home. It's different at home versus a theater. Like, don't be.
Whereas my wife's the opposite, which I think is how the world works. We always find these people. Like, we'll be watching a movie and she'll be like, "Oh, that's that person." And I'm like, that's Lynn Shay. She's in like The Conjuring and The Insidious in 1994. She was in this and she Puppet Master once. You know.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's fine. I kind of like that. I think that stuff's interesting. Donnie, just make good video games. This clip of you on the Xbox Drive is handy for me. Like I have it top of my list on my photos. I'm gonna be using it often, and I love it.
I'm glad that it was very much such a good drop.
It was on its own. It was a good drop, and then a day later, Phil Spencer goes, "We can't just make good video games.
I can't believe he said that.
That's not the answer. You know,
I can't believe he said that, Sean. It's such a terrible way to answer that question.
I guess I'll just play on my PC and my oversized PS5 from now. Actually, I'll probably just play Switch.
What are you doing here?
Yeah. We're not gonna. We
would you
should
say-
be expecting great games.
You do here.
Yeah, exactly. What would you say you do here?
Listen.
The Bobs. Mhm.
That's exactly how that came off.
Mhm.
Like I got the context, but boy, was that a bad way of answering that question.
He was look. He was grumpy. He had
It
a
was a
moment.
bad day.
It was not
Yeah.
a good day. You could tell. Probably not a good
week.
couple of days. Probably not a
Damn,
good couple of
Redfall.
years.
Damn it, Redfall.
Yeah. Damn it, Redfall. I don't like saying, but I saw it coming. Didn't.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I shouldn't say that. I did not see this coming. I just thought it was. I
You
thought it
didn't
would have
see
been
worst game of all time coming.
definitely not. And
What
I
is
still
it,
don't know if that could.
top 11 worst video games on Steam. You know what that tells me when everybody writes those articles? People need to
Mhm.
play more video games.
Agreed. Yeah. Mhm.
Because trust me, I've played way worse.
They
Video
don't even
games than
play
Redfall.
some video games. They
I've
play
played
almost
so
no
many
video games.
worse video games than Redfall.
Have you? Yeah.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. It sucks, man. Whatever. Who cares? Just video games. Let's just play
It
something
is just
else.
video
You know?
games.
Who
Yeah.
cares? Everybody's so grumpy.
Playing Zelda.
Playing a little bit of Zelda. Not. I am.
Imagine
Speaking
if
of not
Xbox had
caring.
made Zelda.
Well, then it gets into that whole.
Yeah, I
if
don't
this
want to
wasn't a
leave
Zelda
that.
game.
I don't want to leave that because we got to talk about it, but because you have your own podcast, we didn't get to
Mhm.
finish it.
No, that's good.
I'm not sure if you listened to PSVG the week after, but after Phil said that, I'm so upset that they didn't respond with, "How about you try?"
Right. Yeah. Like the kind of funny
Here's
guys.
a thought.
Yeah.
Here's a thought. Let's give that plan a work.
Mhm.
You've made consoles and toasters and refrigerators and 8,000 controllers, and you've made games free, and you've
Mhm.
given them away, and you've paid people to play them, and you've done everything but
Yeah.
make good video games. How about, I don't know, let's give that a try.
Give it a shot.
Give
It's
it a
weird
shot.
because it
See
feels
what
like
happens.
it feels full circle. I don't know if anybody's really talked about this, but I feel like this is what the original Xbox felt like. Like it really, like you saw that Xbox and you're like, I know that looks like a competent thing. It's very powerful. It's a little kooky. It's a little different. But let's maybe check this out. And that's kind of after however many years, 20 some odd years, that's still where Xbox feels. Nintendo is what people think when they think video games. PlayStation is what people think when they think
Sean,
video
I
games.
think Xbox had a better. I think Xbox was more well thought of in
In the original days.
the gaming community for the original Xbox in the original 360. than
I'll
it
give you
is today.
360 for sure. 360 was, I think
I think
that's
even
obvious.
the original Xbox, because like back then,
PC nerds like the Xbox.
Like
Like I
Peter
love the
Moore,
Xbox.
he believed in like exclusives. Like he
Mhm.
was the opposite of what Xbox is trying to do. Like he's like, no, we'll take the fight to them.
Yeah.
And I
Yep.
think that's what people are. I don't think that's what they want, but I think that's, it's like a subconsciously what they want, because we
Mhm.
saw what happens when they did it. It's not
Yeah.
what people want, but I think it is kind of.
But they did it once.
right.
Like they did the Rise of the Tomb Raider is the thing that people always bring up, and
Exactly.
that's fair. But like maybe try again. I don't
Like it
even
wasn't
just-
the right one.
maybe it
Good
wasn't the
idea,
right one.
bad choice.
Yep. But to change.
Well, we see what happens when the thought of Bethesda going exclusive, thought of Activision going, like anytime you ever speak exclusivity around Xbox, like the general consensus is like, that's not good.
Yeah.
But in the same breath, people are like, but I want exclusives. Like it's like
Mhm.
they
Jay says it was because of messaging, which I agree with. There was some.
it's like they want exclusives, but they don't want
wasn't clear.
those exclusives. They want the right exclusives. They want Xbox to make their own exclusives, but not be Halo, Forza, or Gears. Like they need
Yep.
Xbox to make non-Halo, Forza, or Gears
But they did.
exclusives.
That's again to your point. The Peter Moore days, the 360 days. BioShock was an exclusive. Mass Effect was an exclusive.
And I think people thought
Oblivion.
better of the brand then.
Yeah, I
Red
think they were-
Ring, notwithstanding.
we hadn't set these rules yet. Like the
That's
internet
true.
wasn't around to like set these opinions that like you're either on this side or that side in a broad fashion. But yeah, I think they could still go for those. Like it's just harder to do. Like what is the next BioShock? That was like, is that luck? Is there a certain special sauce or the right people going? That
I think
one?
it was a lot cheaper to do that then too.
Yeah.
Something like that now, like trying to lock down a 1-year exclusivity deal with Grand Theft Auto would cost you a shit ton of money.
Yeah, it's
I
interesting.
mean, that
like
would cost a gargantuan amount of money.
they just don't seem to whether it's exclusive or even a step down from that, where it's just like the marketing rights. Like they just haven't like hooked onto the right game in forever. They were on with Cyberpunk, and it's like, that should have been
That should have
a
been
win.
Yeah.
That should have been the
Yeah.
one, and it wasn't. Even
and it was
even
so bad, and it's so and like it's not remembered at all. And it's like if they had just held on to the game, like the
Yep.
win was there. It just
Yep.
was the wrong timing.
Totally.
Right? Remember they had a Cyberpunk console. I had
You
one.
have it. Yes.
Yeah,
That's why it comes to mind for me. Like, if there was a shirt, like that was one that you would almost not need to do any evaluation on. Go like, yep, whatever. The guys who are making
easy.
The Witcher, like whatever's next, that's
got Keanu Reeves.
Totally. Dude, I almost
piece of cake.
Holy cow.
That's such like an American
I know, right?
take on them. Like, we've got Keanu. It'll be fine.
It's
how
like
can we screw that up?
There's a formula. It's like Will Smith. Well, maybe not anymore, but like actor this and then plus Keanu plus.
If you're Delvin,
yeah. I lost a friendship actually that night arguing about Will Smith of whether or not he should have hit him. Yeah, which I believed he shouldn't have, but other people are like, yeah, and they unfollowed me and blocked me.
It's a divisive topic.
Apparently, especially that night. People were not happy about it. I guess Cyberpunk seems like a no-brainer. Yeah,
easy one.
Totally
easy.
Yeah, but like they miss out, and then so they don't get that. Then they don't land.
What are they doing?
Certainly,
now?
Call of Duty. They didn't get Hogwarts. Diablo could be a good one, but like I don't know. It's even that one. Nobody. I don't know if that works.
I don't think anybody cares that.
Does anybody
Xbox
connect?
Is doing commercials with Diablo.
Yeah,
I think they're just like
so
it's
weird.
Just Diablo.
And that's where I could understand like the defeatist kind of attitude and presentation that Phil had. It was like, you got Diablo, and maybe it's the Blizzard Activision thing that's maybe mixing things up. They can't really lean into it like they otherwise would have, but I know there's bundles out there at the very least. But like even PS4, like
of all the systems to have a exclusive special edition for, and they were like, no, here's just the console with a copy of Diablo.
No, wait, yeah, maybe that's it.
No
like,
controller, no nothing. Just here's Diablo.
Well, you got 6 Redfall controllers, so
I think people would be hyped for a Diablo console.
No, this game is going to be massive.
Yeah,
like there's no doubt in my mind.
Instead, we got these.
Those are cool controllers though.
I like it.
Redfall has a good aesthetic to it. I think
anybody hasn't seen it.
It looks like a Gears. Like when I first see it, I think that looks like Gears.
Black and red triggers.
Yeah. Good controller, Xbox, good controller. So much is good.
It's very
the
daunting.
world's on fire right now.
Very my style. That's why I wanted to get it.
Yeah. There's too many.
It's probably going to become my new PC controller. I'll probably play with this more than
that's a good thing to
my
have.
Elite now.
Does your Elite still work good? Everything's fine?
Yeah.
No buttons are all good?
The only problem is I can't take screenshots with it.
Oh, that's right. How have they not? They must be dealing with that for
who knows?
They got to have something coming up.
I think they think that people that get, Elite controllers don't care about screenshots. I care about screenshots.
Well, it was why
I can do with my
why
keyboard.
Is that a thing?
I can do it with my keyboard. So if I'm playing something that like the feel of the controller matters a lot to me, I'll pick up the Elite
for sure.
But most of the time, if I'm just playing something, I'm probably just gonna grab the Redfall controller, so I have the handy screenshot button right there.
Because there wasn't a screenshot button on the Xbox One controller. Is that why this is a carryover to the Elite is actually from the Xbox One era?
I have no idea. I really don't.
Speaking of like trying to figure out timelines and stuff.
The sad part is with the Elite controller, like on console, you can map a screenshot function to it. You can on PC.
Right.
On PC, that function doesn't exist. I can't override a screenshot function to it. I can't assign it to a paddle or another button.
How is that a thing?
It just doesn't work. Or at least, and I should preface, the last time I checked, it's been 6-8 months since I've checked, but
you might have to pull up the command prompt or something.
You can't do it. So I was just like, well,
edit the INI file or DLL or something.
Yeah, and the standard controller is just still very nice. So
I like the standard. I've been living without the Elite for years at this point, and kind of waiting for this Series 3. But now, like, this is the whole thing about Xbox. It's like I would be excited by another controller. Honestly, like I would buy a Series 3, I think. But it's like there's
an Elite 3.
But the games. What about the games?
They're going to give you another controller. Or give you 100 controllers of every different I don't want the kind. They're going to put Shaq on it. And Snoop Dogg edition. I mean, they're going to give you
Snoop Dogg. What are you talking about?
I mean, it's just Xbox. It's what they do, right? They're just going to
just put anything on it.
Yeah, like who's famous? Billie Eilish. Here's the Billie Eilish Xbox controller.
Yeah. Yeah. Who would you? Let's do a whole like if we ran Xbox for a second.
Okay.
Who would you replace if you're gonna say like on the leadership team? At
The
Xbox?
hard part is who are you replacing them with?
Mm-hmm.
The easy part is not who would you replace. I mean, I don't think Phil is at a point where he needs to be replaced.
Yeah.
I don't think that's anywhere close. I mean, he's had very strong revenue cycles. I like the vision. I think he's doing a good job as the steward of the brand.
I agree.
So I wouldn't replace him. And does it matter if you replace anybody else? Does that actually matter to anybody?
Well, I guess, and maybe a different way to say it is, are there elements of the vision of the strategy of what you're seeing that you would swap out? And that, like, I guess for some people, they might align that with a person, but that might be oversimplifying the thing. It's not like Aaron Greenberg could open up a different marketing textbook and just do something else.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, yeah, my strategy still remains the same. Make good video games.
Yeah.
I mean, like you can't do anything about that, but like just studios. I'd maybe target different acquisitions if I were them. I don't know. I
can't see. Says they could spend the time making merchant controllers, making good games instead.
So here's the thing. Those aren't one and the same. That's not a zero-sum game.
Agreed.
I know that I bring that up a lot, but I bring that up a lot because that's like their image if you're looking at their marketing. Most people aren't.
Yeah.
Right? But it does bother me. It's been a thorn in my side for a while now that they're like, here's a toaster. What they came out with like an iPod or a Zune or something. They're like, here's a music player, it was a cassette player. We're making tape. I was like, for the love of God.
Come on, guys.
There does seem to be a disconnect with the media team. Like if I were Greenberg, I'd be like, hey, let's tone it down a little. Because they're just constantly coming out with what feels like a Fingerhut catalog of shit with Xbox on it. It's just an Xbox branded thing on all kinds of stuff. And even then, like those products aren't even about games.
Yep.
They're just Xbox products. Like, how about like do some Fable stuff? Let's do some Forza stuff. Let's get like Redfall hoodies out there. Let's get some Starfield shit going.
Yeah.
Like just making cassette players and all that kind of nonsense
I think you're bang on, man.
Like it's a bad look from totality. Now they have a marketing department and they're just doing like, there are no games. So they're doing the best.
So what else could they do?
Yeah. Like they're like, let's be nostalgic. Let's be trendy. I get what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's not a great look.
Well, it's always where you're choosing to spend your dollars on that front, whether the marketing team has something to market or not. If you were to take dollars away from that and put it into something else, I don't know. But like, again, I don't make video games. I've heard these scenarios that Xbox or Microsoft has more of like a contract style within their developing teams where they don't have like the carryover of talent. They just go, you're hired for this project or part of a project, and then you're gone.
3 wholly operates. I don't believe that to be all of their studios.
I mean, you look at the coalition and go, yeah, probably not. They're probably, and that's.
But 343 seemed to have a lot of reported issues on that front.
Yeah,
they were using way too many outsourcing, and like we see that with the initiative and stuff like that as well.
Bubalo the Destroyer, Spaceballs the Flamethrower is exactly the feeling. Yeah.
I like what Xbox is trying to do with Activision, and it's huge. If I were them, I'd maybe take a swing at like Ubisoft.
Yep.
I think they need somebody that can just start walking up to the plate.
Well, it's funny. They're buying all these. The targets are the ones that aren't doing well in the moment. Like when they first announced Activision, like the shit who was hitting the fan there. Ubisoft is in trouble now, so all of a sudden, I guess they become in the sphere of possibility. But like Capcom is Japanese, so I guess that just means no, absolutely not. But Capcom's crushing it right now.
Yeah, I don't think they'd want to. Like they're like, nah, we're good. Whereas Ubisoft actually might be looking for a life raft.
Isn't that crazy, man?
I'm just thinking. I'm thinking of again. I'm thinking more of just like productivity.
Yeah.
I'd be thinking of Namco, Bandai, just anybody that can get you cracks at the plate. Because right now Xbox just doesn't have enough cracks at the plate.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to say that because they've bought all these studios, but they still are so far away.
Well, that's where I feel like the Double Fines of the world, the Compulsion Games of the world, like
Where is Compulsion?
Where is it's a good question.
What have they been doing for so long? Dear.
Jay says they have the most studios. I mean, that's right. And I guess we're
like it sounds like a lifetime ago that what was the Compulsion game? We Happy Few came out.
Yeah.
God, that was a generation ago.
I'm waiting for like I look back to BioShock. Where the hell did BioShock come from? It didn't come from Ubisoft or EA. I guess technically Take-Two, but like still, where did that team kind of come from?
It's not. And I just want to respond to Jace. Obviously, the point that I was making wasn't they need to buy more studios. They need to buy studios that are more productive.
Right.
Look at how many games Insomniac has shipped compared to anybody but Playground. Like,
yeah.
You know, like they need more playgrounds.
That's
the thing. They could use another playground or two. They need somebody that can, and that's what I've been excited about the Activision deal. One, I am a Call of Duty fan, so that makes it easy. But two, Activision just has a really good track record of constantly releasing things. You know, it's like just they're right there with EA. They just have content. Ubisoft has always been that for me. I've always loved that about them, is that they just constantly have content, good, bad, and different. It's just they have content coming. And that's
they figure out systems.
Xbox has been lacking. They had a couple years there with the Xbox One after, like, there was like, I kind of look at it in blocks. You have like your Quantum Break. There's always that other game that I always forget, the Inafune game.
Oh, Recore.
Yeah. So like you have that generation, and then they had a dip, and then they came back really strong, right? And Psychonauts, and they had Flight Sim, and they had Grounded, and Gear. Like that little generation was great. Yeah. And then they went right back into a dip, and it just so happens that dip coincided directly with the launch of a new console.
I know.
And that was a really bad timing. Like in hindsight, they should have delayed some things. I think they thought cross-gen would have made it okay, but they should have delayed some things to have more content for the launch of their new system.
How many times did we talk about this? Like the Switch launch was the playbook.
Yeah.
And even the way that Nintendo kind of killed off the Wii U, like you could look back and you can kind of see there was this nice big drought at the end of the Wii U. And even questions about like what was going on with 3DS, I feel like that was a strange thing, you know, because the Switch wasn't a guarantee. So they still had like a year's worth of 3DS games that we were looking forward to. And then like, oh, wait a second, this thing is working. So
I guess they thought Halo was it, I guess. That's like the only excuse is that like we'll put this out now because we've got Halo.
Yeah.
And then the Halo is a swing and a miss, and there we are. But it's
I feel like
the fact that they don't have 2 or 3 other things.
But that's where Game Pass was supposed to come in. Like it's the new version of indies filling in the spots for the PS4 era. Like PS4 had those
and Game Pass
gaps.
has quietly had a really stellar year. Nobody's talking about it because
nobody is, and I'm not sure that I, off the top of my head, back that up. To be honest with you,
it's not moving. It's just not like conversational,
right?
Like, it's not moving the narrative.
But like, you're happy if you have
bigger releases, right? Yeah. Like the story of the year is with Zelda and Star Wars and Resident Evil, and none of that has anything to do with Game Pass. But I think Game Pass has had a pretty stellar year already.
Tell me more, because I don't know that I agree.
I'd have to pull a list.
Yeah.
But I mean, they've had a ton of games.
That's kind of where I'm at too on it.
Atomic Heart, and I mean, there's just like they had the show, they had Atomic Heart. It just seems like every month they have not just like they have marquee day and date releases. They're just not moving. You know, they're just not moving the needle, I guess.
That's kind of where I think Game Pass needs to be. Like when I look at the switches and levers that can be pulled, like PlayStation Plus is kind of taking the shit out of Game Pass these last couple of months. I don't know about me personally, but I think perceptually and on the internet, I think that's what people are saying. Boobo says Minecraft RTS or whatever that was called. Yeah.
Forgot all about that one.
Exactly.
Oh, so I'm thinking they had all right, here we go. They had Persona. They had all the Persona games. Like Game Pass.
That should be a bigger deal. They should still
Monster
be talking
Hunter
about
Rise, Age of Empires came to console. Wolong Fallen Dynasty, Atomic Heart. You know, like we're just getting Planet of Lana, out next week. You know, like Game Pass has had a pretty good year.
Why are they? So why
FIFA,
are they?
And it had the show. Like these are big games.
I'm not disagreeing with this. So why are we hearing about toasters and Legends, whatever else, the Zamboni things? Like, why isn't that? I feel like I'm taking crazy pills here. I don't know if this would end up just getting boring for people to hear about, but why isn't it constantly, this is
Grid
what's on Game
Legends,
Pass?
Hot Wheels Unleashed,
Madden,
yeah. Dead Space, Valheim.
Those are big games. Hi-Fi Rush. Shout out to a lot of people in the chat mentioning Hi-Fi Rush.
Yep.
One of the the highest rated game of the year before Zelda.
You 4 months, all of that in 4 months.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
I just feel like the attention span isn't quite there. Like, it's this weird thing because subscriptions are ongoing. You're meant to have them for a long time, but you only talk about what's new for a moment. Like, for
missing the main course. That's the issue. It's missing the main course.
Yeah.
Starfield, Redfall, Forza. It's missing the main course. I think if we'd have played Starfield in May and it was really great, I think we'd all be talking about how great deal Game Pass is.
Is Starfield a Donnie game? Are you in for this?
Yeah, I love Skyrim. I'm not particularly into like sci-fi. I would say most of this, that's not true. I like sci-fi things.
Yeah.
Right? I do love science fiction. I like fantasy things. But there's probably like certain veins or flavors of it that I like. And like living out this cyberpunk fantasy in space isn't really my thing.
Oh, I'm down. I'm so down. I need to see more, because
like if it had more of maybe like a horror flavor or something, or if I had the one, I haven't really been sold on like the adventuring of the stars yet.
Just go.
I think that's there, but they haven't. I think you'd probably agree with, they haven't really sold that to us yet, right?
Agreed. Yeah.
In the market,
my memory of it is No
Man's Sky type. So I'd be more into that. What they've shown so far just kind of feels, I was trying to think, like I'm thinking of like Tacoma. What was that game?
Tacoma. Yeah.
Things like that, which like I've played and enjoyed, but they're not like, they don't get me excited.
Well, and this gets me into the whole, like, it's funny. I used to think of like Bethesda against BioWare, and like nobody cares about any of those teams anymore. Nobody cares about BioWare. Nobody looks to Bethesda as like the leader of, Western RPGs. But like for BioWare games,
I think I still do.
Yeah, I think you're being kind. I don't know. Maybe you're being kind there. Like, what have they done? I guess this is what have you done for me lately?
Fallout 4? Is that too long ago?
It's pretty long ago. 76.
Fallout 4 was great. It just wasn't great compared to The Witcher. Right? It's like The Witcher just ate its lunch. And that's not
funny
because
I actually beat Fallout 4, and I've tried 3 times with The Witcher, and
yeah, it's just a different thing. Like I have never tried to play The Witcher, but I would imagine that I'd be more into that.
Yeah.
Because I'm just more into like that fantasy thing, like the Lord of the Rings. I love Skyrim. I love Oblivion. It's a big reason why I went Xbox 360.
Yeah.
So like, am I here for Starfield at face value? Yeah, I'm going to play anything.
Yeah.
Like it's like on a couple of different levels. I'm going to play anything that comes to Game Pass.
Sure.
I'm going to play anything that comes from Bethesda Game Pass. I'm going to play anything Todd Howard does.
Yeah.
Am I sitting here expecting like Starfield might be my favorite game of the year? That's where it's like, no, probably not.
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that. I need, I guess the reason I brought up BioWare is because when I think of BioWare games, I think the stakes are so high. I think that when you play a BioWare game, like especially the first 1 or 2 Mass Effect games, to a certain extent, the third one as well. When you play Dragon Age, it's like the world is ending and the odds are not good. Like this does not look good at all.
Way more a fan of Dragon Age than I have ever been of Mass Effect. That's just like a weird thing with me. I've never really and that might be like the Starfield thing. I never liked Mass Effect.
Yeah, I know. So, oh man, but the stakes, Donnie, the whole galaxy is gonna just.
That's one game series. I'm not taking a shot at it because I understand exactly why people love it. This is not like Final Fantasy.
Yeah,
that's one game series I just don't like. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Every time I talk to a character and they just like stare into the camera. And I'm just like, this is like the greatest game ever. Like I'm always there thinking to myself, I'm like, this is it. This is what has got everyone so emotional. They're so invested. Like I don't get it. Like I don't know what it is. There is a misconnection. Does not compute. I've tried on multiple occasions. I tried playing Mass Effect 1. And then everybody was like, no, you got to play Mass Effect 2. And I tried 2.
I don't think I would say
3
that.
on Wii U. And I just don't. I got nothing.
Yeah.
But I've played 200 hours of Skyrim. So that's like
that's crazy.
That's like my
I would
hope.
never expect that from you, because I think that's just like all the things that you just mentioned are there for Skyrim as well. Like let's center
True.
center frame, just like look at you awkwardly, and I'm gonna.
But I've
deliver
never.
lines.
You're right, 100%. But I have never ever been like I'm so emotionally invested in the characters of Skyrim.
Yeah.
Like for Skyrim, wasn't about that at all. It's like I gotta get this sweet sword. I got a fucking
Right.
dragon. Like
Yeah.
you know, like it was completely different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the technology and the presentation of the BioWare games probably should prevent many of us from becoming emotionally attached to it.
The way
but
people talk about Mass Effect, it's like I think it's like how you and I talk about The Last of Us.
Yeah,
You know, they're so invested. They're like, who died? Who lived? I'm like,
I am
cares?
like that with Mass Effect, and like that with The Last. Did you hear? I was talking about I played Fire Emblem Three Houses. Finally finished it with the Detroit Blue Lions on there. And I thought that I was like, I played with permadeath on, and so I thought I had saved
Black
everyone.
Eagles
I didn't.
By the way,
what's that?
Black Eagles Forever, of course.
Apparently, that was the better
of course,
choice.
I got chose the wrong team.
The first, I
you were presented an option. You
good.
made the correct connotation that this is the Detroit of these teams, and you still went with it.
The blue line. I feel like I'm the only one calling that out, but most people don't even know what football is. But anyways, I was on permadeath and thought I had like saved everybody from dying, and I guess I was on like autopilot one day and missed Ingrid dying, because at the end of the game, it shows you like what happens to everybody. Like so and so got married and they did blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And then it kind of goes to like Ingrid. Like Ingrid fell in battle. Like she did. Like I didn't even notice. Damn it. So speaking of not being totally attached and the professor of these kids,
sure,
or so to speak. Yeah,
that's good. I'm glad you played it. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it. I would love to, like any other Fire Emblem game with all these multiple paths. I would like to say I'm going to go back.
I never did.
I probably won't.
I did it with Fates. That's like the one. I was
like, Fates would have been great,
but I didn't do it with any of the others.
Yeah, Fates, like the premise there sounded great as well.
Fates was excellent. Fates was excellent.
I just did Birthright because there was Birthright, Conquest, and what was the other one? There's 3.
Yeah, you're right.
Anyway, yeah, I just did the one.
Damn.
I think Conquest might have been the 3rd one, if I remember correctly.
You already said Conquest.
I know, but I've skipped maybe what the second one was.
No,
I feel like there was 2
was the
and
DLC.
Then,
it was like the add-on. Yeah. I like Engage more than Three Houses.
But yeah, BioWare games, like they have
I think that makes sense.
I need to save everything, and it's like the Blight in Dragon Age, or in the first one, Dragon Age Origins. Like this is not going to go well, and so for Skyrim, if it's going to try to do, I'm sorry, not Skyrim, for
Starfield.
Holy crap, no, space game. What the hell are we just talking about?
Mass Effect.
Starfield. For
that's
Starfield to be good. I'm sorry.
It said Starfield.
Did you see Starfield?
You were like, no, that's not it. And I'm
panicking.
Like, what?
I haven't done this in a little while, Donnie. I need more than like very expensive No Man's Sky. Like I want there to be some stakes, and I don't know if that's what Bethesda is here to give us. Like they give what you're in for Skyrim for, like just adventure and cool new gear and things like that. And like that's good.
The shooting mechanics are good, because like you can't do space adventure without shooting. It's different than
I don't care so much about that
and stuff like that. Magic.
It's funny. That's true. Yeah, Matt, I'm always a mage in like Dragon Age, things like that. Yeah, maybe that's why I didn't like Witcher that much.
For me, the gameplay mattered to me. And I honestly, to be honest with you, Sean, I think that's more for me than most things.
Gameplay?
Gameplay.
Yeah.
I'm just way more invested into gameplay than story.
Yeah.
I appreciate when a character resonates with me and I get into a story, but like I don't want that from every single video game that I have, to have some deeper emotional connection. Like I want to have fun while I'm playing it.
I agree. Yeah.
And that's what I'm looking for. And hopefully Starfield will deliver on some of that front. Because like, dude, I've probably played 40 hours of Zelda, and I've barely touched the story and have barely progressed the game at all.
Yeah.
So that's more my thing.
I'm with
a game
you,
like that. I'm more of the Streets of Rage, Gears type player. Just like be fun, be cool.
Yep. Story can be serviceable.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I'm totally with you on that. It's funny because I was just we have the Backtrackers is a video game book club, and there's a few people talking about how like they can deal with not great gameplay if the story is excellent. Like I couldn't be further from the truth, like further from that. Like, I don't think that I can.
I have. Like,
Yeah.
when you say that, I immediately think of Telltale's The Walking Dead. The
Mm.
story was good enough, compelling enough that I kept going forward, but I would not call that gameplay satisfying.
Interesting. Yeah.
You know, it's pretty slow. It's pretty clunky. You're like walking around. You keep tapping things. You miss. You keep repeating things. Like, it's not great moment to moment. But the cutscenes were compelling enough that I was like, well, I'm going to keep going.
Maybe that puts a hole in my thesis 100% there, because I agree with that one. But I guess I don't even. I guess where I'm thinking when I hear a statement like that is like, not that game. Like a game that's trying to have good gameplay. Like, it's like, that is clear to me. I'm not signing up for a Telltale game for gameplay.
I'm not going to play The Expanse.
Oh yeah, probably not.
And I didn't mean to shoot a hole in your argument. It's just when you said that, it was the game that immediately came to me. I largely think I agree with you.
Yeah,
like most of the time, I agree with you.
But I think it seems like story is what is driving a lot of people these days. You know, because I look at a game like Outriders, and gameplay is excellent. I think gameplay was awesome in that game. All the different like styles and classes that you can have, and the way that they kind of made it feel like a games as a service, but it totally wasn't. You could absolutely play it on your own and level up, and their systems there was great. I happen to like the story in that one. It was just totally crazy sci-fi stuff, and people thought it was dumb, and they kind of wrote it off, which I think is too bad. Court Lalonde checking out our shirts here, Donnie, which is funny because before we went live, I noted that Donnie has a gray shirt, and I was going to change so that we did match.
Yeah.
So it's funny that he called that out.
And my wife has cranked the AC, so at some point I may actually don that hoodie.
There you go.
Is it
hot out?
Oh, definitely. Yeah, it's hot out. Do you hear my neighbor mowing his grass?
Nope.
Okay, that's good.
Nope,
that's
not even
what I was
a little
say. There's nothing I can do about that, but
just go shut it off.
She just got home, and I feel the air starting to swing down here. So
yeah. Our whole everything's on fire over here, Don. You walk outside and you inhale smoke. Forest fires are happening all around us.
Wow.
It's just, you look at the sun, it's actually crazy. Some people have taken pictures of it. It looks like Sauron's eye, like just like looking down on it. It's bright orange. I have
seen people doing TikToks of like this bright, sunny red orange doing like the blood moon.
Yep, that's what it looks like.
Zelda, and I'm wondering if those are Canadians. I had no idea.
Yeah,
I've never even heard of this until now. Wow, that sucks.
Well, it's funny because we have some people who live around us who come from other places, and they're like, "Is it always like this?" And we go like, kind of, once a year, basically, we get a big bad forest fire and smoke blankets the countryside. It's kind of nuts, man. It's not good.
Crazy.
Because it keeps us inside. Like, you can't really go with, like, you can't really do anything. You're not supposed to anyways. Yeah. So, yeah. Tim Paulin says smoke from Canada has reached Iowa.
Wow. It's insane.
That just goes to show, like, how many trees are on fire. You know, it isn't just like a small thing.
I remember how bad it was during COVID in Australia and in California. I mean, it's a real problem.
Yeah. I mean, luckily we're jam-packed beside each other. There is a lot of countryside. So it's not like when these fires happen, there's just a lot of space for them to happen, I guess. It's not usually on top of a city. There was once upon a time, one of the larger cities kind of got evacuated, but yeah, it's kind of scary, man. Yeah. Kevin says, kill the trees, save the world. Man, heroes. Save the cheerleader, save the world. Did you ever watch that show?
Mm-mm.
I always thought like it was a
little
X-Men
bit
knockoff.
Because Ollie Lauder is just smoking. But outside of that, that was probably
Where has she been?
One of my not first, but like probably first like real Hollywood crushes.
Oh yeah,
I just thought she was just gorgeous.
What else was she in? Was she in that? What football movie was she in? Wasn't she in
Varsity Blues?
Varsity Blues. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Is that the whipped cream bikini?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's her.
Not that I remember.
Right.
Like all these years later.
Exact time.
Yeah. On the DVD, it was chapter.
She was enough for me to try Heroes, but again, I just don't do much television. I'm just not that into serial.
I was then in the Heroes days for sure. Lost 24. Heroes, I think, was in there. I had it on HD DVD, Donnie, the first season.
Nice.
HD DVD.
Killer.
Yeah, man. Totally missed that. Oh, man. How's your car? How are your cars? How many cars do you have now?
God. My Ventura is still at the shop.
Every time you say Ventura, I think Ventura.
Oh, really?
Ace Ventura. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. It's still over there, so at some point
Yeah.
I may drive it again.
It's time to drive it. Like it's nice out. You need
Yeah,
the AC to be in your house. It's time.
I've been putting a little more pressure on the shop to get on it here recently. Not crazy, but just been like, all right, guys, like let's get to it. I
Mhm.
know that's on their near to-do list. Again, you know, I'm thankful, fortunate to be in the position where I don't need it to be fixed.
Right.
So that affords me the ability to be patient.
Mhm.
And considering that I've already paid and like at this point the car is just like a huge loss for the shop,
Yeah.
I'm trying to be as very flexible with them as possible because what they have to do is stop working and making money,
Mm.
bring my car in and work on it for 3 days.
Right.
Cause it's probably 3 days of like 2 or 3 people away from like being done. The good part of it is that it is almost done. Like all the body work is done. It's completely painted and everything.
Yep.
The only thing that has to happen, there's like, they got to put the car back together. So new bumper brackets, put the bumpers on, put the seat in, all that stuff. That's easy stuff.
It's not like you could just go in and take it and go like finish the rest later. Like it's an estate.
Right. No. Like
Yeah.
it's an estate. It's undrivable at the moment because
Yeah.
it's just a pile of pieces, like interior trim detail stuff. Right.
Mhm.
But one person could probably fix all of that in one day.
Yeah.
The hard part is that they have to do my air conditioning. The car did not originally come with air conditioning.
Mhm.
And per the terms of our agreement with my website, I bought an air conditioning system for the car and they are going to put it in for me for free.
Mhm.
So
So they're not stoked to go do that for free.
That's a huge job.
Yeah.
That's 2 days of like their best mechanic. He's got to rip the entire dash out and run pipes and compressors and all of that. And hopefully it all just goes in, but it probably won't. So things will need to be fabricated and moved. And like, that is a huge job.
Yeah.
You know, so like, it'll probably take 3 days, probably 4.
Mhm.
And that's just loss. There's just no money coming from that.
Yeah.
You know, so like I'm being as patient as possible to let them like work that in wherever they feel like they've got a good window to do it.
Yeah.
And the past couple of weeks I've been there, they're like, you're close. Like we're 1 or 2 projects away from bringing you in and getting you.
And is everything amicable? Like you, like they understand you want it.
Yeah.
It's not like you gotta tiptoe. Yeah.
Yeah. There's no animosity or anything like that.
That's good.
They know I'm being as patient as possible for them. You know, they realize that they undersold the deal when they made the deal. So, you know, like we all realize it's just been a shitty situation. We're just trying to make the best of it. So I'm trying to be as patient and as nice as possible.
Nice.
You know, so
yeah, good for you. It's a good attitude to have. I feel like it'd be a hair trigger to go to the other side of that. Because once you get to the mad point, it's hard to go back.
Well,
once you get upset.
I'm lucky to be fortunate. I don't need the car.
Yeah.
Like I don't need it to drive anywhere or anything like that. There's nothing riding on it. I'm not making payments on it or anything like that. Like that car is paid for.
Yeah.
So if there's anything I can afford to be, I can afford to be patient. What I can't afford to be is like thousands of dollars more into it. Like that I can't afford to be.
I guess that's the thing. So do you think like when they're done, that's it? Like you feel like that's there's not like a secret job waiting afterwards. Like, oh crap, I got to do the whatever.
Oh, I'll always bring my cars back to them if I have things to do.
Sure.
And yeah. And then once I pay off the Roadrunner and everything, like I'll eventually come back and want to do some tunes and upgrades. You know, like let's make it faster. Let's make it louder. Let's make it lighter. You know, like I'll always come back to them and do things like that. Once I pay things down. But like, I think that if I was to walk up tomorrow and be like, all right, I got $2,000, like, let's get it done. It'd probably be done.
Yeah.
But I don't have that. And they know that. It's like, dude, I've spent all the money I can. So I can afford to be patient.
How has it been on the switching? I mean, kind of switching gears a bit, like I think the last time we talked, I think you mentioned this on PSVG recently as well. Like you're not buying everything, not buying all the games all the time. How has that worked out?
It's funny because I have here's the thing. I've definitely bought things.
Yeah.
But I've been
You're not allowed to be in the gray, Donnie. It's either black or white, like one or the other.
I've been very choosy.
Yeah.
I've been very choosy and just trying and just being skimping. Like I just bought an iPad. Got an iPad for $175.
Really?
It's this year's iPad. And it's like basically brand new. It's like in a
some
case. I've got
dude's
pictures
van,
of it and
or where did
I just
you get
got
this
an
from?
auction deal.
Oh, nice.
So I grabbed that. So like that would be like I bought the Ally,
Mm-hmm.
this Asus ROG Ally that the
Did
internet's
you?
been. Yeah,
When
I bought it.
When do you get it?
In about 15 days, 20 days, like June
Is that
10th
it?
or 12th or something like that.
Dude, I don't even know what day it is. Like, you're right. June is
Yeah, because
here.
it's like
Holy
what is
crap.
it? It's May 21st. So like what, 3 weeks, 20 days, something like that.
Oh
So,
my gosh.
I
That
bought
one
that.
might get me, Donnie.
Here's
That
the
one
thing.
might.
I was thinking of spending. I was gonna just deplete my Switch savings for it. I got all this money that I've been saving for the Switch. I want to buy the Ally. Who knows when the Switch is coming? Could be 2 years from now. I was like, I'll just spend that cash on it. Here's the thing, though. The Ally's price came in cheaper than expected.
Yes.
It was $6.99.
Yep.
I think.
Not bad.
But here's the thing. When I checked out, I got a honey coupon that saved me $80 off the top.
You've got to be kidding me.
No, like, yeah.
Sponsored by honey.com, man. Holy
And
cow.
I took a Reddit interview on a marketing feedback that got me $100 gift card. So I got the $80 off the top of the price, and I had the $100 gift card, and I had like $35 in Best Buy rewards. Anyway, I checked out on the Ally at like $4.98.
Wait a second. You can get this thing from Best Buy? I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's only in Best Buy. It's Best Buy exclusive.
Oh, I thought like because the whole like Steam Deck thing was direct.
Yeah,
like direct from
this
Valve.
Isn't that. No, this isn't like
I haven't even looked. Oh my
Dell thing. Yeah, this is just at Best Buy.
I have a Best Buy gift card, like a
when I
big
screenshotted the price of my Best Buy of my Ally and sent it to Dev and Delvin. I can't tell you, like, I was really proud of that deal. I was like, look at this, man. I have really chopped this price down. So now I don't even have to like spend the Switch cash. I'm just bought the Ally.
Oh my gosh. I clearly missed this very important detail about this thing, that it's exclusive to Best Buy.
Yeah.
You can't buy it. Even in Canada, it says exclusive retail partner.
Yep.
899 Canadian dollars.
I don't even think Asus is selling it on their own website. I think it's just Best Buy.
Wild to me, dude. Because I remember looking at the Steam Deck, and it's like, it's just a little too big for me. This
they
seems
either
to be
don't
small.
have a lot of demand, or they have they're meeting demand because they're still taking pre-orders.
Yeah, I could pre-order it right now,
and I think they've got a lot of demand. I was a little I was worried because I felt very early on this. I was talking about this thing like a month ahead of time, and then like 8 days before pre-orders, I started seeing all the normal, like Jeff started talking about it, and all the YouTubers started. I was like, oh shit. Because I didn't want to fight. Like I just not going to fight for a pre-order anymore. Like I'm just over it. It's like a line in the sand that I've just drawn with myself. But luckily, I woke up. The pre-orders were live. I did join a ROG Ally Discord, and they use the API for the website or whatever that I just clicked a link, and it just added it to my cart and checked me out.
Wow.
So it was like a super easy process. I didn't even ask what Not Wise is. What device you're talking about? So Asus, however you pronounce it.
Yeah, nobody knows.
ROG, the Republic of Gamers, have made a portable PC called the Ally. The best way of explaining it to you is like it's an alternative to the Steam Deck. It's not a Steam Deck. It's a laptop. It's a laptop that they shoved into a handheld. Like that's all it is. That's the easiest way to say it, guys. Ever since I've been talking about this, because when this was first shown, April Fool's Day, Sean.
I know.
When this was first shown, Garrett and I were there, and I was like, I kind of want one. Like I was sold from the start. I was like, this is what I wanted the Steam Deck to be. Like I think this is it.
In terms of which parts, like, because for me, it's the form factor was the biggest.
I think the form factor is better. The screen is better. The performance benchmarks that are being offered are better. Like that's the thing. It checks a lot of my boxes. So like for this past year, handheld portable gaming is all the rage. We've had a lot of devices. We've talked about it. We've talked about it on my podcast, talked about it on our Discord. I've gamed on iPad. I had the G Cloud. I've had the Steam Deck. There's like the Razer Edge.
Yeah.
There are all these different things. And they all do something really well. Steam Deck plays very great native games. G Cloud had a beautiful screen. Razer Edge had beautiful Android emulation stuff, right? Apple has its own ecosystem. And I was always telling Garrett and Daniel and kind of like our little portable gamer community, I was like, I kind of want just all of them just smushed together.
Of course.
You know, like there are little things that I like from, but none of them are doing everything that I really want. Like
which I'm glad that this has continued on, by the way. Usually when like something gives a try and it doesn't nail everything, that it's almost like sometimes that category can go away. But like this has continued on. Like it's a dangerous thing. And I always appreciate you and a lot of people who are that early adopter who will give it a shot, you know, but like I feel like this is maybe that like next step that
I think
maybe
so
this
too.
is a category of products that like will be around for us for a long time.
I definitely think we're going to see MSI with one. I think we're going to see an Alienware version. I think this is a thing. I think this is a market now.
Yeah. So then gaming laptops go away. Is that kind of where you see that going?
No.
Okay.
I think that market will still be there. I think they'll just compete with each other.
Sure. Yeah.
Right. Because with the gaming laptops, they're still doing mobile GPUs or CPUs, whereas so far these handhelds are all in ones, right? They're APUs.
Right.
Yeah. So there'll always be that difference.
There's a reason to have the next. Yeah.
But with Steam Deck,
this is convenient though, man. Holy cow.
My issues with Steam Deck were twofold. I think I just bought way too early because I had a lot of issues with emulation early on. Like my SD card got wiped. And that was a huge bummer to me.
That does suck because
secondly, though, it didn't play the games what I would call like particularly well, as good as I was hoping. And I didn't like the screen a whole lot. So I had some issues with the Steam Deck.
Yeah. What was wrong with the screen?
It's just not a very good screen. It
really,
like, when you see it compared to like the G Cloud screen, just blows the Steam Deck out of the water.
Wow.
Like games just look so much better and more vibrant on that screen. The Steam Deck screen is just not very good. I never minded the size of the Steam Deck. I like the ergonomics. The fact that like it didn't play a lot of my games well. And again, I think I was too early. I think had I got a Steam Deck now, maybe a lot of these things might have faded away. But like when I got the Steam Deck, I was day one. I bought Jeff's. And I was playing like PGA 2K and it ran worse than it ran on Switch because it wasn't optimized. And I played Lego Skywalker and it ran terribly because it wasn't and like
that would do it. That'd be enough for me.
Yeah, I didn't want to jump through these hurdles. It's like, why? You're supposed to play these better than, if you're not playing these games better than the Switch, why are you here? Like, why do I have you? I'll just play on the Switch. That was like my thing. So with this new handheld, one, it's just stronger. The screen is 1080p. It has 120 hertz refresh rate. Yeah, which it's not going to run games at 120 FPS. But when you come to streaming things, that makes a huge difference in streaming things. Streaming things on 120 hertz panel makes a gigantic difference. But it is stronger almost across the board, like in almost every benchmarks, except for at low, at the moment, apparently the low power setting. So if you're playing it at 10 watts, the Steam Deck is a little better. So like if you're playing on battery saver mode, the Steam Deck apparently punches up.
I don't think I would ever have it on battery
power.
And I know a lot of people would probably claim that, but like that's how my laptop is never on it. It's never worth
neither
it.
Would I. That notwithstanding, apparently that's just a firmware update issue that they're saying that hasn't been released yet.
Yeah, just like when Switch added Bluetooth out of nowhere.
Yeah. So they're just saying like, we haven't really dialed in our low power TDP profile yet. It will be there before launch. But I love the look of the device. I love the price of the device. Yeah. It's going to run all of the games from Steam. Not some of them, not some, like it's a PC. It just is a PC. Now, it's going to come with its own PC-like problems. Right. Windows isn't super great on a handheld and touchscreen. You're going to have to finical with that. Like I have a solution for that, but a lot of people, may not like it, but I have this little portable keyboard and mouse.
Oh, nice.
Tablet. So I'll just sync that to it and use that to navigate and set up and then play my games.
Yeah.
But I'm imagining any of the issues that I had with emulation wise, that I had with Linux, that I had with Steam OS desktop mode, and any of that stuff goes out the window because it's just Windows.
Yeah.
Right. It's just a laptop.
Yeah.
And some of the stuff that I've seen is insane. Like some of it's playing Forza at like 80 frames a second.
That's funny. Well, Forza is an interesting one because I think just in general on a good PC, it still runs not great. Like I think and I both had. The new Forza, we'll see.
My Forza runs great on my PC. It just has really long load times.
The load times,
really weird controller support issues.
Yep. No, that's the same thing here. The load times they're important though. Like I've got fast NVMe drives and everything, like better than I should, considering how much or how little I play on my PC. Like my PC is way better than it should be, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. The graphics card is a good one. I got a 3080 in there. You know, like it's a pretty decent rig here, and it's like I don't play nearly enough on this thing. I need something to pull me in, and you're all over it.
Yeah, I barely play anything else. It's just PC these days, which is another reason why I'm interested in this handheld. This handheld also has compatibility with Asus's line of external GPUs. So it has like this little plug that you can plug into your TV that will boost the game, and you can play it like
to be kidding
4K. Me. And they're playing Horizon at 4K, like 100 frames a second. And no, hang on, before you get excited, it's expensive.
Yeah,
like the little external dock is expensive.
Of course it is. Well, and I wasn't even thinking the price. I'm just thinking of the situation. Like,
but if you were looking at both of them as a PC alternative, it is a comparable PC alternative. Like they just cut the prices on one. Their AMD one, which seems to be the best one, is $650 for like the external. And you playing things at 4K or at least 1440 at 80, 100 FPS.
That's not nothing. That's still some money. Yeah. That's still some money. Yeah. I'm trying to think of like my library. I feel like
But if you think of both of them together, $1,300, that's pretty good compared to
then just play on your PC.
But I mean, it's pretty good compared to a full-blown PC.
I see what you mean. If you don't already have a PC, you're going to spend.
Yeah, my PC didn't cost $1,300.
Exactly. Yeah.
Quite a bit more than that. So that's not bad.
Yeah, I am tempted by it, but then I also think about like how little I play portable. I think that's probably the biggest thing. Like I do travel enough to probably justify it, but this is where like the Switch kind of already is that for me.
Yeah.
And I don't know what games, although I haven't tried it yet. Like, what do I know, Donnie? Like, I don't know, man. Maybe this is where I would actually get to play Dying Light.
I think the difference between you and I is that I play most of my Xbox games now on PC.
Yeah.
Like I play most of my Gamecast games on PC.
I'm not playing a lot of games
on PC.
I think that's, I don't even know if it's just like where one or the other. I just think I'm not
all my
playing very
Steam
much.
stuff. So I don't know what the pie chart is these days, but I mean, it's heavily.
We all need a good pie chart.
Yeah, it's heavily favored in the PC realm. And to me, I'm really excited for this thing. There's just times I just want to sit in the recliner or sit on the couch.
All the time for me.
Can't do my PC there. So with this, I can. And if I want to,
I even got a new office chair, Donnie. I'm trying to mimic it.
Very nice.
I've got my old. Where did I get that from? Autonomous, like this fancy ergonomic chair, and this is certainly not ergonomic, but it's cushy.
Yeah,
so maybe this will get me there, but and it costs like half as much or less. Like it's a cheap Staples exclusive chair.
I wouldn't tell anybody to buy this thing if they weren't into tinkering and things like that. But if you're interested, I'll be talking about it. So if you're interested around launch day, you can. I'm
always interested.
Videos. We have a portable gamer space in our Discord. Where I think I've posted like every breakdown and thing of this. Like, so if you're interested, go to that, come to our Discord, go check it out. I've got hundreds of videos. You can see benchmarks and stuff. I mean, it's impressive.
I need to do that. I need to have a day off every single week from my actual job.
Just get caught up on everything.
Caught up on carpool stuff, on video games, I'd love to stream more, like all the stuff.
I'm excited to play Last of Us on it. I wonder what Last of Us in handheld, like I wonder what it can get out of it.
The PC version? Is it running like as it should now, or is it just going to get to
better? It's not great, but it's better.
Yeah.
But I think this Ally will probably run it pretty well. It's got VRR.
Yeah, it looks so cool. Like I said, like I heard everybody talking about the Steam Deck, and I don't know if I ever really got all that close. Like maybe I'm closer with this one, like much closer. It might just be because it's white and it looks cool.
Yeah, it does have that.
It has this. Did you say it is less expensive than the Steam Deck? Like pound for pound?
It's more expensive.
So that's funny.
The lowest price Steam Deck is $399.
Is it really?
The highest price Steam Deck is $649, and this comes in at $699.
That's funny. That's an interesting.
This is significantly more.
This
is better. Just benchmarks. It's just better. Now, does that mean everything will play better? No, because Steam Deck's more optimized.
Right.
They have a whole community that's optimizing. So like that's a whole separate thing. This also has Windows, right? And Windows is just, like you're going to deal with that bloat and stuff too. But for somebody like me, I'm way more comfortable with Windows.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if you've ever looked into Steam Deck, but when you're trying to get like people are just trying to get Game Pass through the browser in Steam Deck, and you have to like go into Linux and download these weird apps. And I was like, open the browser and go to the game. Like if you're more of that type of person,
Yeah.
I'm going to be way more at home and comfortable, I think, on the Ally than I
Like
ever was
when you're
with
playing
the Steam
handheld,
Deck.
like any game goes. Like again, I think as anything, I'm probably overthinking this, but so many games I play on PC, I'm like, I play on PC primarily because I want to use keyboard and mouse for some of those games, and so I don't like, but maybe
Yeah,
not. Maybe
you could use keyboard and mouse with this, but it
yeah.
would be externally.
Just picturing trying to recreate like the Nintendo Switch commercial, but with
Yeah.
this, and
Yeah,
you
it'd
bust
be
out
weird.
like a portable.
Yeah,
keyboard
this
and
doesn't
mouse.
have trackpads. That's a thing.
Yeah.
Steam Deck are like, we've got trackpads and you can't do this. And you're hang on a second. So
Careful.
when this was announced in our Discord, I think Garrett or somebody was like, what does this have? Like, what does this have that the Steam Deck doesn't, right? Like, we're comparing apples and apples, and people are like, I think Garrett was like, this is just better in every way. Yeah. And I was just like trying to stick up for Steam Deck, and I was like, hey, Steam Deck still got trackpads. And Yarden was like, Jesus Christ.
Well, yeah, I saw those trackpads. Everybody's like, oh, they solved the doesn't have a mouse thing. I'm like, that's not the same thing. Like we all have laptops with trackpads. You're not gonna play StarCraft with that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's not.
But I don't like. I'm very, very curious about this. And Nintendo doesn't have a new Switch that we know about coming out anytime soon. Like, could I just
But keep pushing the can down the road. My going theory now is I think Nintendo was ready to launch something now-ish. And I think all of these other products that are hitting, I think maybe gave them pause.
Right.
Yeah. And I only say that it's like me extrapolating what's happening because Nintendo, unlike Asus and the Steam Deck and everything, when they announce a console, they have to commit to it for a certain period of time.
Right.
Like even the Wii
like their
U
entire
got
identity.
5 years. You know, like they're not going to keep releasing iterations and new improved model. Like this is the thing. Like this is a console in the console business. So I think Steam Deck and the Aya Neos and everything, I think you've seen so much come out quickly. I think, and I'm extrapolating that from, we know the developers had dev kits for years, like 2-3 years ago. Dev kits went out for Switch successor, and then all the dev kits were pulled.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It makes me think Nintendo's going back to the drawing board. And then, so I'm asking myself, why? Why would they go back to the drawing board? And I'm thinking maybe this is why.
Oh, man.
Because there's a lot more competition in this space. And I think Nintendo, when they release their next thing, I think they want it to be not like the best. I'm not expecting their handheld to come out and, you know, benchmark other people. That would never be Nintendo. I just think they want it to be firmly positioned. I think they like want it to be, I don't think they want it to be like outclassed and outdated the year it comes out.
Right. Well, I don't even know if they think about it in that way.
I don't know. I can't think of another reason why they would have put it off.
I think it's about the game or games that they launch with it that either take advantage of some new feature that it has or something like that.
The biggest game of the year they just released would have taken advantage of new hardware had they had it.
Well, it's funny you say that because I was just thinking how that once Zelda came out or we knew it was coming out without another console alongside them, like then there's not anything coming for forever. Like I'm not even thinking about the next Switch anymore, which is weird because
I think that's
I've
fair.
been obsessed about it for like 2 years. We talked about it on this show forever.
Based on the dude, like he said, 18 months? At least not next year. He's not, at least not within 12 months. That makes you think we're at least 18 months away.
Yep.
At least, if not 24. Like, if not further than that, we were at least 18 months away, probably. And that's
which is
just
probably fine. It's just probably the way that 64 ended and like all the big Nintendo consoles, like the Wii especially.
The Wii had like a long kind of ghost life.
Yep. They could, they could, like, is this the we're just in an afterlife now? Like, and that, like that,
I think
then we
18
get into
months, like, let's say it's 18 or 24 months away. I don't think that's too long for them. Like, that makes his statements about them being not in the next 12 months, being at least further than that. That gave me a lot of credence to what Rebecca's been saying. They just have games. I'm now starting to come around on maybe there is a Mario game. Like maybe there is stuff like they're just not ready to turn that page.
But I was thinking the opposite thing actually, where
Yeah, I
this
know.
is like Zelda was the end, and
And
now
you're
they
like,
don't
we're
have
trailing
games.
off.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like
I'm
it'll
going the
just
opposite way. I'm expecting them to come back, and here's 4 or 5 new Nintendo games are coming out in 2024.
My best friend growing up, I've known him my entire life, just sent me a picture this morning. Just got his first Switch. He hasn't had a Switch. He hasn't had a Nintendo console since the GameCube. And he's like, I'm in. I'm like, that's great. Like,
I had to.
I'll lend you all this stuff. It's super exciting. But 6 years in, dude.
I went to a
Holy cow.
conference, and one of my friends at the conference, work colleague, but we're friendly. He knows that I play video games. He came to me and he's like, dude, I'm thinking of selling my Xbox and getting a Switch. And I was like, why now?
Yeah.
And he was like, Zelda. And I'm like, no, I get it. I was like, but you realize that like they're going to come out with a new console in like 2 years.
Yeah.
I was like, are you okay with that? I was like, just buy a Switch. He's like, yeah, but I don't play the Xbox. And I was like, okay, well, I mean, like, I'm totally fine with you doing that. I was like, but you know, just know that it'll be replaced. He's like, you think so? I was like, I don't think so. Like, I know. So.
Yeah, it's just the way these things go.
Yeah,
the thing
these
is
things
6
have
years
been
old.
out forever. So yeah, something else is coming. The question is just when. But it's at least, I was like, you've got at least a year. I was like, so if you want to get the Switch, get the Switch.
Yeah. I mean, Zelda is a system seller. It was the first time. It is
absolutely
this time, which is amazing. I'm glad that that's even a thing that still exists. You know, to such a high degree that
I've always believed in system sellers.
Yeah.
I remember, I think one of our earliest PSVG things where we talked about that. Like I've always, I think it's maybe just more me. Like I am willed to be.
I don't think
there's a really cool game.
I don't think people
I'll
realize
buy a system to play it.
Yeah, I think more people are, and they don't. Maybe they like to think about it in that way because it makes that single game seem very expensive, and that's how I think about it. Which I don't want to buy a thing for like one experience because I'm not going to spend $400 to play a single game. I kind of
totally will
need to know. Yeah, I was nervous. There's documented evidence when the Switch was revealed, and I'm like, I don't think this is it. Like I feel like that January 12th or whatever presentation they did.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm not good, especially coming after the
they
Wii
had
U
me at Suda.
Oh yeah. They
had me at Suda. I remember that. I remember you and Bobby arguing about it. I remember watching. I remember arguing with you guys about it. I remember all of that. I don't even think you guys knew who Suda was at that time.
No.
But they had me at Suda. Like I was all in at Suda. I was like,
Yeah.
oh my god, Nintendo and Suda getting the band back together. I'm all in.
I'm like,
but
yeah.
I think the difference is you were being very conservative with your enthusiasm, where I was in that position. I was like, I'm looking for a reason to give it to him.
I was just
Like,
tired.
just give
of
me a
talking
reason to
about
have
the Wii U. I was and yeah, I guess that maybe gave a sense of what was to come as far as like third party support. Like there was other people making games for this thing other than Nintendo.
Hey, Wii U had that same presentation.
Yeah, right.
The Wii U at E3 the year before it came out, they walked up there and they had Activision and EA and they showed all this third party. And none of those games showed up. None of that shit was there.
You got Batman and you got Mass Effect 3.
But I wouldn't have Suda, obviously. I mean, Suda just hits differently. You know, so I was all in. That was
I don't mind being wrong about that. I don't mind being wrong about
thing
the Switch.
from that presentation that I took away from just that Suda was there. And that's all I needed.
Donnie, you know how we're far away from the next Switch or whatever. We don't even have like a code name. Like we don't have an NX to talk about. We were talking about NX forever, and we don't have any. And they even told
Project
us,
Cafe,
right? They even told us what it was. They're like, stop buying the Wii U.
Yeah,
Project Codename NX is happening. We're like, I guess this is what our podcast will be about for the next.
Yeah, they really strung
months.
that out for like. I always forget that they strung that out for like 2 years.
Oh yeah,
because that real last Wii U one, they came out and they were like, we have a new console. It's called NX, and we'll talk about it later.
Yep.
And that was all the rage. And I remember it's like it's going to come out that year, and then at next E3, right? They're like, this is it, and then it still didn't come out for like a year. So it was like 2 years of like this limbo.
NX. Oh my gosh, those are the days. Give us
like a
that,
year of
Nintendo.
code names, and then there was like it wasn't a full year, but there was like a 3/4 of a year of Switch existence before it actually released.
Oh, easily. It
took a long time.
We saw it. We saw the Karen on the Roof commercial like the October before the March that it had come out.
Yeah.
So at least like we knew the name of it for however many months that is, almost 6 months or so.
And they talked about E3 that year.
Yeah,
so
they talked about
it was
the
like
NX.
from like June to March. We knew the Switch existed.
Oh yeah. Well, we didn't know that it was called the Switch until that October.
It's a hell of a lead up.
I know. Yeah. Well, I kind of like that. They had this, but I mean, the Wii U was dead. That's why they were able to do that. They're
Dude,
not.
We played. You're gonna love this. We played Wii U yesterday.
Did you really?
We really did. It's so funny to bring that up. Here's why.
Good.
Here's why. My son and I went to my daughter's performance, and my son was talking about playing Donkey Kong. Have you seen this little Game Boy thing that I bought? Did you hear about it on the podcast?
No. Oh man, I feel like I don't need to know about this. What is it?
No. You do need to know about it. So my son has it with him, so I can't show it to you. You need to get it. It's called hang on, let me look it up. It's called the Ambernick. You don't need to remember that. Don't try to figure that
out.
Okay. Go to Amazon and type in RG35XX.
Okay, Amazon. What am I going? RG
35XX.
It showed up immediately. Oh my god, it's amazing.
So it's like what, $70?
Something like that. 110 here. Yeah.
Oh, it's a little pricier in Canada. All right, so here's the thing, Sean. It's
Game Boy.
It's a Game Boy. It's got a beautiful screen.
Yeah.
Sean, you buy it. It comes with everything preloaded. You don't have to do the ROMs, and like it just comes that way. It's got 1,000 games on it. You just buy it, turn it on, start playing.
Holy! I think I do need this. This is one on the.
It's like the easiest sell ever. The only thing it doesn't have on it, Sean, are Mario games. But listen to me. The device has an extra card slot, not the card that the system is on. It has an extra SD card slot. You put your own card slot in it, and it pre-formats all the folders and everything. You just drop the ROMs into the folder, and you can add Mario to it like that. It's piece cake.
Oh my gosh!
It plays all consoles up to PS1. It does GBA, it does GB Color, it does Game Boy, it does Super Nintendo, it does NES. It's got a ton of arcade stuff on it. I was playing these amazing Dragon Ball Z RPG games that I've never heard about that were awesome. Jack's been playing Donkey Kong, and like it's such an easy button. You don't have to be Garrett Bland and venture into the dark side of the internet to get all these things. Like it just, just comes that way.
Yeah. Holy cow. How is this legal? How is that possible?
That's a really great question. So I bought one for my son because he loves Pokemon, and this thing has like 50 Pokemon games, like all the Pokemon games.
Just loaded, just preloaded.
Yeah. You just turn it on. We have yet to do anything to it. We've just turned it on and played it. It just comes.
Everyone in the house is getting one of these things. Look, it's got the translucent purple. Which is that the one you got?
I went with the old school because I never had a Game Boy, so I was feeling a bit nostalgic.
That looks really good because I've wanted the Analog Pocket.
Here's the other thing.
$500.
The OS, super easy, very clean, very basic.
Interesting.
So here's how it works. You have an option to dive in like via console. So you click the menu and you can go like Game Boy, Super Nintendo, whatever. Yeah. As you're looking through the games list, you have the ability to favorite them. You just press the start button and you favorite them.
Perfect.
So then you have a folder of your favorites. You can always go look there. Then you have a folder of your most recently played. And then if you just can't find what you're looking for, you don't want to go search for it, there's a search bar and it'll just search all of the ROM directories for the game.
Holy cow.
So you can just go in there and just type in NBA and it'll give you like NBA Jam for Game Boy, for Super Nintendo. For
I love it.
Which NBA Jam would you like to play?
It has HDMI out to TV. You can plug this into your TV?
You can if you want. I think it's HDMI Mini. Yeah.
That's awesome. I think I've got one of those. We could have something like kind of
I have one for my old camcorder. So yeah, it's a great little device. If you're into like carrying something, you can slide it in your pocket. It's got a beautiful screen. It's very vibrant, very crisp. It's just such an easy recommendation for $70. It's like the easy button. This is like the greatest Christmas gift you could ever give to nieces, cousins, nephews, grandchildren. Just throw this thing in a stocking, like it's so easy. So Jack's playing it.
Yeah.
And he's talking about, he loves Donkey Kong Country. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I'm playing these. He's like, it's a shame I can't play Tropical Freeze anymore. I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, we don't have it for Switch. I'm like, we have it for Wii U. Now, man. I have the modded Wii U.
Mm-hmm.
I paid this hacker to do all the things to it and plays all the things. So he's like, it doesn't work. What? What are you telling about it? Because I haven't played it in a while.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, every time I try to play it, it gives us this error. And I'm like, oh my God. I'm like,
I'm wondering heard about all those.
If Nintendo like nuked it or the battery is out or whatever. I'm like, oh no, not my Wii U.
He
So we
probably
came
just
home
didn't connect like
yesterday,
the gamepad or something.
and I was like, "Show me," and he shows me the error, and of course, I go to YouTube and start YouTubing it, and there's like a firmware mishap on my Hackchi, auto
Mhm.
loader or whatever. So anyway, I start diving through the menus and everything, and I found like basically like the reboot cycle. Click that, and everything starts working again. I'm like, here we go, are all of our games. So now, for like the first time, I guess in like a year, that he's thinking the thing is broke, it doesn't work, without
Yeah.
reporting it to me. Suddenly it works. So now he's playing Donkey Kong, and he played like Rock Band, and we were playing Mario Sluggers, and yeah, we were
yes.
digging Wii U last night. Like we were
I
playing
love
Wii U for a
it.
couple hours.
Nice.
So
Oh,
very long
jealous.
story to tell you that I was playing Wii U yesterday.
I'm glad to hear it.
Sorry about the tangent.
No, I'm glad to hear that the Wii U is still. I'd love
Still
to know
kicking.
how many in the world like were doing what you were doing this
I've
week.
got the do you remember the gamepad? They made like little shells
Yep.
that you
I
could
never
wrap
had one.
around your gamepad.
Yeah, I never had one.
I have the Mario Bros shell that I believe is like become collectible. Like it's hard to find.
I'm
They
sure.
made them in like limited run.
Yeah.
I was playing Mario Maker. I was like,
we just had Mario Maker 2 going on the Switch.
How great was Mario
yesterday.
Maker? It's so good.
Yep. Oh man,
Mario Maker 2 is a better game, but it just
Yeah.
didn't feel as magical as when Mario Maker came out on Wii U.
I agree, and it's funny because there's all sorts of great additions to Mario Maker 2. Like you could do like the courses, like you could build worlds and stuff, and they had the 100 levels
it's not
from
the same
Nintendo.
Without the gamepad.
Yeah. I think that might be it.
Like
Yeah,
it's
being
got
able
the
to just,
radio
like-
wheels and all that, but it's not the same.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh,
And the
man.
amiibo, not having the amiibo things and stuff, it's not the same.
Mhm.
It's like a different game.
Yeah, it really is. It's the sequel, and it's on a system that people know.
Yeah.
And they actually have. So yeah, the other one gets forgotten, unfortunately.
Yeah, we had a
Dang
good
it.
old time playing
I
Wii
love
U.
it. You're
gotta
so
get a
good
new
at
sensor
that.
bar,
You get
though.
to get around to everything. You really do. You get to like, I don't know, like you're playing your this and then that, and you got the Wii U, and you got your PC gaming, and you're playing your Zelda. Like, I don't know how you do it.
I don't work out. I don't bike across Canada. Like, like that's the thing.
Biking
it comes at the expense of my mental wellness
that,
and
that
my
could be
physical health, Sean.
Okay. So don't get too jealous is what you're saying. I don't even know like that there's that often a time as jealous and as awesome as that sounds, there are every once in a while a window does show up and I still don't choose to like play a video game for like 8 hours.
Sometimes
and I don't know
don't.
if it's
I was at that conference this week. So we recorded the podcast Wednesday night. I played a little Zelda Tuesday night.
Mhm.
I didn't play Zelda again until yesterday.
Yeah.
So I went Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and all day Saturday because I had this conference at work this week where I had to every day because the conference was hosted here.
Mhm.
So you go to work conferences. It's fun when you get to go somewhere else. You stay in the hotel, you eat out.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
The conference was in my town.
Oh,
So
yeah,
I had to
so you just
drive
from home.
downtown and park and pay to park and then get out and
Mhm.
drive back and every day. It
Yeah.
was very taxing. So when I got back on Friday, dude,
Done.
I was
Mhm.
texting Delvin and Deb. I was toast. I
Yeah.
didn't do anything. I like just sat in the dark and like barely paid attention to whatever Netflix thing I turned on. And like,
Yeah.
I didn't quite nap. I just kind of zoned out for like
Mhm.
3 hours, just very unproductive. I did nothing. I
Mhm.
was not feeling it. I just wasn't in the mood. I told him,
Yeah.
I was like, I got to go outside. Like I
Yeah.
went outside to cut the grass just to like get productive. Like
Mhm.
I needed like sunshine. I don't know. My batteries were drained.
Yeah.
So
Your
I slept in on Saturday, and then
Mhm.
we had my daughter's performance and stuff. So I was just busy. And then today, like this morning, I got in and I was like, all right, get a little Zelda in.
Yeah. Get some gaming in. Do this, then you're gonna see a movie.
Yes.
Good Sunday.
Yep.
Long weekend. Is it a long weekend for you guys? You have
I have
tomorrow
no
off?
idea. What is tomorrow?
Tomorrow's Monday. It's Victoria Day for us, which you guys sure as hell ain't celebrating.
Memorial Day?
Memorial Day, maybe. Yeah. Yeah.
Memorial Day sounds close, but I don't think it's this week. I think it's next week.
Or the end of May here.
Yeah,
You might
the
have tomorrow
29th.
off.
The 29th.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. That's too bad. You don't have a holiday tomorrow.
That's okay.
Would you get Memorial Day off? Is that
Yeah.
like a stat
So I'll
holiday?
have a 3-day weekend next weekend.
Yeah, just another week, says Jace.
Yep.
That's too bad. Well, we're going to get into Zelda's been out for a little over a week at this point, and I'm predicting with high accuracy of my probability that podcasters around the world will be comparing hundreds of hours into Zelda at this point. It's going to get into Animal Crossing territory, Donnie.
Think so?
Where you jump onto a podcast, how many hours are you? Oh, I'm 120 hours in. How many are you? Oh, I'm 400 hours
That's
in.
a good bet.
It's totally happening.
That's a good bet.
And I'm self-conscious about it, only a little. I'm not that even a little bit. I'm not in a committed relationship with Zelda at all. I'll be playing many other things along the way. I don't know if I will ever finish this game. I didn't finish Breath of the Wild, and I don't care, Donnie.
I think it's fine.
I think it's fine too.
I don't care if you finish games. Nobody should.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't know. Zelda, especially though, like as a Nintendo podcaster, it's like, how dare you? You got to finish.
I can understand
those Zelda games.
I can understand that, or at least that feeling, that want to.
I even hold credits on Animal Crossing.
I finished Breath of the Wild twice.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'll at some point turn my direction to actually.
It just seems unfinishable.
The game,
guess. Yeah.
But Tears of the Kingdom, so far, it's just not why I'm playing it. Like
to finish the game. Yeah.
I'm not playing the game to beat Ganon.
Totally.
Right now.
And that's why I say what I say.
Yeah. So like, I'm sure that I at some point will turn my attention to doing that, but that'll probably come when I'm just like, okay, like let's put this
time
bed.
to do it. Yep.
Yeah. And that's what happened the first one.
Yeah. I was gonna say like that seems to be more of like a Ubisoft game. I forgot.
For me. John 32 reminds me. Apparently, I must finish.
Yeah.
So Rebecca has claimed to quit. She'll quit Shaq if I don't finish.
Jeez.
So at some point, I have to.
That ultimatum, man. It's either me or whatever else.
I don't know what this ending is going to look like. I still remain unspoiled. But,
apparently, it's great. People have said.
I was just about to say, based on what I've seen from the game so far, I can only imagine that it's epic. It would be a shame if this game ended the way Breath of the Wild ended. It would be such a shame. I don't expect that to be the case at all.
Given you don't know exactly where this is going, and maybe this is a stupid
I don't even
question.
know where to go. Like I don't even know where it is.
I played. I don't know if you knew this. We're streaming it on the first day, and we were 5 hours into the stream playing this game from whatever it was, 8 a.m. 5 hours in, and I'm like, I don't know what to do next. And Lachlan is like, just open your map. And I open it, and it plays the animation that only happens the first time that you open the map.
Oh.
And she's like, you have played for 5 hours and you haven't opened the map yet. I'm like, that's where I'm at with this thing, dude.
That's fine. I love it.
It was. I thought it was good. I don't know. It just goes to show how
kind of
directionless I am with this.
We're on parallel paths. I'm not directionless, but we're on parallel paths. Where my son, Golden Path, I think he's 3 of the temples down. Like he is just on the story beat on to the next one.
Donnie, I didn't even know there were temples. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, my bad. I thought that was a
no.
Nintendo said it. Yeah, Nintendo said it.
It's not a spoiler. I don't even know. Somebody had mentioned something about like sky bosses where I'm like, they're done that. I'm like,
so
didn't
Jack
know that
is
was
like
a thing.
3 of those in. He's like
that's
just
hilarious.
Trying to finish.
I found the Zora. I imagine that's what you're talking about.
I am just doing shrines and.
Oh wait, this is Temple of Time. They even talk about that at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm back.
So I'm doing shrines, and I love the depths. I'm just exploring that. But all I'm doing
haven't seen the depths.
I'm just stat padding. I'm just getting more hearts. I'm getting more stamina. I'm getting more batteries. I'm not doing anything. Like I'm running right past memories. I'm like, I'll come back to you later. Like we'll just keep going. I'm fighting stuff. I'm kicking ass. Like I'm down in the depths right now, and I've got on a good loop for the last couple of play sessions where I'm just like farming. There are these things in the depths called like fraxes, or like these big frogs, and I'm just like farming them and farming these goblin camps so I can get. I'm trying to max batteries. Try to get more batteries. Yeah. So I'm on a good loop.
And there's something so enjoyable about that. Like just playing
gameplay.
that. Like
it's just pure gameplay. Like it feels like kind of like WoWish. Right. Like I'm just kind of like wander. I'm like doing my dailies. Like I'm logging in. I'm like, all right, let's go farm this, go farm that, go turn it in. Like I'm just getting my stuff done.
Yeah.
You know? But I'm getting closer to a point where I'm like, all right, I'm good. Let's go. Let's go take on a boss or something.
I need to hone in on that. Dungeon. That's the hook of the game, and that's a good thing, because I could easily start to go, oh, what if I play Dragon Ball Kakarot so I can get a bunch of Xbox achievements instead? And it's like, it's just that cheap gamification that takes me away from an actual like gameplay focused, gameplay centric kind of game. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
I'll sit here and do shrines for days. I'm like, I have so much
intimidated,
fun
I think,
just doing shrines.
Yeah.
I love shrines. I'm so glad they're back. I'm so happy they're back. Like the dungeons are cool, but I'm so happy that shrines are back, because it's such a bite-sized, easy to take on whenever you're feeling it, easy to reward you as you complete it without taking on like this huge, and even that, I don't know, the dungeons I've played so far are not huge.
Right.
So I'm sure maybe something like that is there, but like I'm not seeing Twilight levels of dungeons here.
I'm good with the shrines. I do the thing. I don't know if you're like this too, where I'll see a shrine off into the distance. I'm like, yeah, I'm totally locked in on shrines, totally doing shrines. See one, I got it pinned down, I'm ready to go, and I'm headed straight for it. And then, oh, there's something on fire over there.
That's the thing. That's what I've stopped letting myself do. You gotta.
Oh, really? You just gotta beeline it. Gotta go.
I commit to something. Like, what am I doing today? Today, I'm farming. We're gonna grind out batteries. Tomorrow, I'm gonna grind out hearts. Now I'm gonna grind out shrines. My first day, grinding out towers. I need to open this map. I can't see. Where is everything? Yeah. So like I'm going through, kind of checking off. Like I think of it like prep work. I'm just kind of preparing.
I love it. Yeah.
For the game. I saw a TikTok the other day. It was making fun of the South Park thing. You know, like where they're like, we've done all the things, we've got everything. What are we gonna do now? Cartman's like, what do you mean? Now we're gonna play the game. Like that's exactly how I feel. Like I'm getting to the point where like I can finally just start playing the game.
Dude, oh my gosh. They farm what are they, just killing sheep for days on end? Oh my gosh, what a good
what do you mean episode. Now we can play?
Now we can play the game.
That's exactly how I feel.
Yeah, I am intimidated by its vastness, I think, like, and the fact that I have already in my head kind of resigned to the fact that I probably won't beat it. It lowers it on the priority list a little bit in a strange way. And I could be singing a totally different tune the next time we talk, because I just jump in and
let me press you on this a little, because I'm interested.
Do
you worry or carry the same things when you think of Starfield?
I don't know, probably not, but because I think with Starfield, what I'm anticipating is, again, the old, the tried and true now, like level up to like level 50 or level, like get this skill set up. Like I think with Bethesda type of games, and just traditional RPG frameworks, it's there's the bars that you fill up, there's the XP that you collect, there's like, it's a different kind of thing. But it's
I'm filling the stamina, I'm filling the hearts.
It feels cheap, and I'm even calling it out. I can see when I think of like a Starfield type of game, I think that's surface level. Like I actually don't think that there's anything inherently rewarding about getting to level 77 versus what I see in Zelda games now is the gameplay is inherently rewarding because it's excellent. So why isn't that making me obsessed to play it on every single moment that I could possibly play it? Like why? It's like a drug addiction.
That's exactly where I am. That's all I want to play. It's all I'm playing. We were talking about me being a little thrifty. I haven't bought several games that I skipped because I knew I wasn't playing this. I have no pre-orders out in front of me. I have no idea when I'm going to buy another game. Like I have cleared the decks for Tears of the Kingdom to take me as long as it's going to take me.
Yeah.
If I don't play Pikmin when it comes out because I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom, then I'll just sit on my Switch until I get to it.
Yeah.
Like it's just there.
That's timed perfectly, by the way. It's not like they could go 6 months without putting out another game.
I was really excited to play Dead Island, and I just didn't. It just didn't make the cut because I knew I was going to be playing this. I will play Dead Island another day.
Like I said, I think it's just a matter of one more play session of just getting back into Zelda, and then I'm back in. It's just been a couple of days for me.
Any dungeons yet, right?
That's right.
So go do the Rito one first, and then come. Like I would love to hear you do that, and then come back and see if that sets the hook.
Yeah,
because it's pretty epic.
Yeah,
it's pretty epic. And like there was a part of me when I finished it, I was like, "Oh, that was really good." Yeah, I was like, "But I need to I need to max out. Like I need to get my game up before I start going to the other ones.
This is why I think I do the committed relationship thing where I do pick a game and just like lock in, because if I'm not, then I'm always tempted by something else.
You're only as faithful as your options.
That's
so I've removed all
video
options.
Games.
I have no
video
options.
games.
I'm just like, on this one.
I got Dead Space from the library, and
that
it's
temple,
awesome.
By the way, the Rito Temple is so extravagant in a way that Breath of the Wild never was.
Wow.
That like I get and not just like not the dungeon itself. It's really like the whole segment. Getting to the dungeon is so epic in a way that.
Should I play it right after this, Donnie? I know you have to go to a movie, but like I don't. I got a clear day,
and don't explore the depths. Go talk to Robbie and go down there. The depths are my favorite thing about this game.
Who's Robbie?
Yeah. So you got to go back to the landing when you get off. When you get off the plateau, go back to the landing, and Robbie is a little scientist guy.
Okay.
And he gives you a mission to give you a tour, like the instructional tour of the depths.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, Sean, when you go down there, you're gonna feel intimidated.
Yeah.
There's a lot. It's completely dark. You remember Breath of the Wild? You had those missions where you were completely in the dark.
Yeah.
And you had to like, it's like a whole world of it. Sean, the entire world that you know of Hyrule exists in the depths.
Jay says, "What's the landing?" You read my mind, dude. I'm like, I'm gonna have to Google that. Here's the thing about that, Donnie. You're right. I'm gonna be intimidated by it because what I'm picturing, this is so stupid, but gives you a sense of how my brain works. You're like, it's dark down there. I'm thinking of like World 8 on Mario 3, where you can't see the rest of the world map, just like the little like, glowy thing. I'm like, that's hard.
You don't even have a glowy thing. If you don't bring your seeds with you, you won't even have the glowy thing. I mean, it is
the glowy thing.
But here's the thing. So the entire Hyrule map that you know from Breath of the Wild, the entire map exists in the depths.
What?
The entire map exists in the depths. So in Breath of the Wild, we had the world, and in Tears of the Kingdom, you have the sky and the world.
Yeah.
The sky is not that big.
The landy land. I was so brain dead talking about this. I'm like, oh, this is the landy land, the Breath of the Wild place.
The sky isn't that big. I mean, it's awesome, but it's not that big.
Sure.
The depths is every bit as big as the surface.
Holy crap, dude.
And everywhere you go in the depths, everywhere on the surface that there's a shrine.
Yeah.
In the depths, there's a light route that you use to light up the environment.
That's awesome.
So when you're using your map on the surface, when you're in the depths, use your surface map to know where they are. Like you can see on the surface, it's the exact same location. You'd be like, there's the shrine. I know there's a light route over here.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
But the scale of verticality in the depths is huge.
Yeah, that is. Jay says too big. That sounds too big to me.
There's like landlocked moments of the map, because think of on the surface there's like a river,
right,
and you can fly over the river. In the depths, that river is like a mountain range, and you can't fly over it. Like you got to go around it. Like it's huge. You can't up and over. You need to go around.
So did they? Like, because they didn't really talk about this. At least I didn't pay attention to all of the things. Like it seems like this is new, right?
It is very new.
When people were like, what took them 6 years to make this game? Like maybe that was part of this.
A lot of it feels like they took the map, they flipped it. It's very similar. It's got its own art style. It has little bokoblin camps, but it's not like a whole, at least so far, I've unlocked about half of it. There's not like bustling cities and stuff down there.
Man, that is so like classic
but it's
Zelda,
really,
though.
It's really fun because there's like this whole economy, like with the batteries and the charges and the crystals that you got to get, and you got to go down there to get them. Bombs and stuff are down there. You'll find caves. There are Lionels. You'll find old temples. There's stuff down there. There's stuff to find.
You are so good at talking about video games.
And it feels like
oh my God,
it's just very
pumped. That
exploration.
Yeah.
That people may not have because they're like, it's Breath of the Wild. It's the same thing.
Right.
It's all in the depth. You got to go underground.
So awesome.
I have this armor that glows that you can run around with that lights up.
Oh my gosh, that's so good.
Yeah, it's awesome. I got Majora's Mask last night, which is down there.
What? That is so cool.
Yeah. It's not cool how you get it. It's a bitch
How many
to get.
hours how many hours? I know I just made fun of this before, but like how many hours are you into this thing? Like, are you at 100 hours already?
No. I would say I'm probably maybe like, I don't know, like 30
50?
hours maybe.
Oh, okay.
I've done about 50 shrines.
You're very efficient because I'll spend 100 hours
Like I
doing
said,
nothing.
you can't. So I'm like you, where I would just start playing, go in different directions, and I would play for 3 hours, and I would look back and I'd be like, I didn't do anything that I wanted to do. So like, until I feel like I'm ready to start doing those things, I gotta focus. That's why I was like, I need more hearts, I need more stamina. Like one wheel of stamina is
but
just
the thing
not
is,
enough.
the game is, at least to my estimation, it seems like it's good enough, even without knowing any of those things. To my point, like extend the whole like 5 hours to open my map to everything about this game. So if it took me 5 hours to open my map, I could have, if you didn't mention this, like, and didn't like kind of steer me in that direction a little bit, I could have done 70 hours and not known about the depths.
You totally can.
Easily.
You could probably play this whole game. I mean, it is huge, but there's so
awesome.
much down there. And like, you know, leading into this, I was like, I don't know about this building thing. I don't think I'm gonna be building things. I'm building things because like it helps
That's
you.
the other thing.
Like if you're into min-maxing, it's like I'm building air bikes that can fly around. I'm putting lights on them and shit. Like I'm doing all kinds of things. Like if you start getting into like I'm trying to accomplish something, or at least for me, I start getting to accomplish. It's like Valheim. That's what we are with this game. Is that I'm just where I was with Valheim. I start playing Valheim. I'm like, I love this game, but I can't get these things done fast enough. So let's go chop down 100 trees and do 100 things so I can be more efficient at this before I start playing. And that's like these games are typically I stay away from them because like that addictive loop, that gameplay hook, that stuff gets me hard and I sink in and I am sunk with Zelda. Like that's
how I lost 5 hours before opening the map. I didn't even realize.
Like, I just did the fire dungeon and he was telling me all these things about it. And I'm like, yeah. Well, I've got 7 batteries.
He's just missing football. That's what I was going to ask you about, Jack, because I'm interested to see. Lincoln is maybe to the point. Maybe there's other 6-year-olds out there who are playing this game. He hasn't really been asking about it. He mostly likes watching me and Chelsea play this in Breath of the Wild. But I want to see like a child's mind attack this, especially for Lincoln, who hasn't played a bunch of other games like Jack has. And it seems like he's kind of trying to treat this like other games.
A bit different though, because Jack, being older, YouTube. Jack knows everything about everything. He knows where everything is because he is down a YouTube rabbit hole. Yeah. He's got like 8 Hylian shields. He's sending me like YouTube trick messages in Discord.
My gosh.
He's like, Dad, here's how to get this. And here's how. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah. Just want to go find it.
Yeah. He's taking all of that knowledge. It's like this, just dump on him.
I love
he's not just going off on his own. Like he's being very, very much steered. He's got all these cool weapons and stuff. Like he's trying to figure out how to most efficiently beat the game. Like if he can cheat the game, he's after it.
Yeah.
You know,
that doesn't even register for me. Like not even a little bit. Like that's not what I'm
not even. Yeah, exactly.
Fast, and it can do both.
Like he showed me how he got the Hylian shield and it's super easy. And I was like, that's cool.
Yeah.
And he's like, you're gonna get one. I'm like, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm kind of with you on that. Like, I don't even want to know. I don't want to look up any of that stuff. Like I don't have Zelda on my YouTube algorithm really at all. Like it's been kind of mostly avoiding.
Definitely my TikTok. I'm watching people just do terrible things to Koroks on the daily. I mean, it's incredible.
I want that. I want that.
This building mechanic is amazing. I was very hesitant on it, and unlocking auto build is a big part of it. Auto build is huge. That's another reason.
Again, didn't even know that was
go down there. So auto build is another capability in your Purah pad.
So it's like a recipe kind of thing, like a
hot ass. Oh my goodness!
Nintendo knows exactly what they're doing with this stuff, man.
I was like, whoa. But yeah.
Whoa.
When you go do the Robbie mission, you'll unlock auto build.
Oh yeah, Robbie. I should be taking notes, man.
And auto build is like you pull it up and it saves a list of like everything you build.
Right.
So like if you build a cart, it'll save it. And then I think it saves like the last 20 or 30 that you've built. And then if you build something that you really like, or you don't even have to build it, if you just come across something you really like and you're like, I like this, you have the ability to favorite it. And then you store that favorite forever.
Good. Yeah.
Then if you're just anywhere else in the world and you're like, that device would be helpful right now, you just spawn it out of midair.
Of course. And it just uses whatever materials
Zonite
requires. Yeah.
But if you're at like in the depths, they're like mines where this material is just like around. So if you're
Sorry.
around,
my printer just turned on like and just spun a wheel like for a second. It scared the shit out of me. Oh my gosh. Calm down. Like there's no like, okay, sorry, got distracted.
No, you're good. So if you're near where those materials are, because in some places the material's just there, it'll pull those materials into your recipe so you don't have to pay for those items.
Oh my gosh.
And then you just like pay the difference. So like maybe you've got 2 fans, but you don't have a base, or maybe you've got a wheel and a rocket, but you don't have, you know, like rolling wheels or cart wheels or whatever. And then, yeah, you can just spawn this stuff on the fly. And then once you get that going, the depths becomes like, that's the thing that set the depth. I was like, oh, so instead of trying to like climb everything and fly, because I don't have, you don't have towers, right? Like I can't jump off the stuff and glide everywhere. Right. I was like, oh, so I could just spawn like this air bike and fly around. Yeah, I'm just going to do that.
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
See, and you have like this interesting, like you're good at finding this stuff on your own. Like you're not doing the Jack thing. You're not going to like read strategy guides or anything like that. And you just seem to like pull this out. That's the difference between you and I, and maybe me and pretty much everybody else who plays this game. Like that will take me a long time to figure out on my own, but I want to do it still.
I'll say I can't say that. There was one thing that I didn't quite understand from the game. That I'm glad I did look into it. And I basically was sitting there with Jack, and Jack was trying to explain to me, and then he showed me a video. So I didn't really understand like the Zonite economy that's going on with the game. Like I don't think they probably did explain it to you very well. I just maybe ran past it or didn't get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like I understood that they had like the screen stuff you collect and turn it in, but I didn't really understand like, but how do I get more batteries from that? And like, how does that work?
Yeah.
Right. So that's the only thing that I really looked up. So like when you're beating these constructs, they drop these like green blocks, Zonite, right?
Yeah.
You can turn that Zonite in at a forge for crystals. Then you can turn those crystals into refinery for energy cells, which is your battery. But you need the charges, like the other thing that you get picked up, to drop those in the gotcha machines that drop all the materials. Right. Yeah. So there's like 2 different things. Now, the conversion rate from the Zonite to the crystals to the energy cells is huge. And I didn't understand that soon enough. I could have been making more progress had I really figured it out. I felt like I played this game for 15 hours and didn't do anything like that. And like that was 15 hours where I could have been stashing some of that away.
Oh, do you think so?
Yeah. Yeah. Because here's the thing. Here's why. You need so much Zonite to get a crystal, and they have large crystals and regular crystals. Then when you get the crystals, you need 100 of them to get 1 energy cell.
Right.
You need 3 energy cells per battery. When you go to the refinery, they only sell so much in a given period of time. You need the blood moon to come to reset the time, to reset the store, to buy more.
Holy crap, dude.
So like there's
so many rules.
When I started playing it, I'm just playing and I'm like, I'll worry about that later. And then later I realized, no, I should have been doing this loop.
I see. Because it counts on that reset.
Exactly.
Yeah, got it.
I would have been further along now.
Interesting.
So after that, then I started exploring the depths more because that's where all the Zonite is. And then the more I explored, then it kind of changed because now I can farm so much Zonite so fast.
That's interesting. Like that kind of gets into, that is a bit of a daily, like that is your dailies, but it's not there. Yeah. It's not like a menu item thing. So everybody can kind of create some of their own. I guess this is part of just the meta of the game, how you can do it better than others.
I just missed your own early on because I didn't think I was going to be building stuff like, who gives, I don't care about this.
Right.
And then I start finding out like, but I actually do. I want to do more of that. So yeah.
Interesting. Oh man, there's so much. I still need to like for a lot of these types of games, my style has always been just like, I'll just dive in, I'll ask questions later. And sometimes that's fun. Sometimes I end up wasting 20 hours or something.
That's so the good thing part. The game you is totally
good.
Can just waste hours.
Yeah.
Like it's a great game to just run around and there's so you said I'm predicting that everybody starts comparing hours. Yeah. I'm predicting what's already happened. So this really isn't much prediction on my part, but I'm already wincing at hearing how many people are just suddenly disrespecting how great Breath of the Wild was. It just seems like this instant thing that everybody's just like, it's a demo. No, it's
a
not.
Beta.
It's way better than people are remembering it. It's different in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
I definitely think Tears of the Kingdom has some improvements, not all. Some of the things in Tears of the Kingdom have been toned back, I imagine, to make all this extra CPU and geometry and mechanics work.
You mean like the visual style you think is not as good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think maybe that. I think a lot of like the assets in the environment, like I don't feel the like the foliage,
Mm-hmm.
trees thing. I don't feel like it seems to be a little more flat.
Yeah.
I think, and I think that's probably because of what they're doing to pull it off, which I think is
Well,
probably a good
that's what has
trade.
confused me. Like, is it the same map? Like, I feel
It is.
like,
It's different.
yeah,
It's different. Like
yeah,
there's new towns and like it doesn't feel the same, but it's the
right.
same. It's roughly the same. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Like, I don't have a good enough memory to go like this tree wasn't here. Like, I'm not at
I
that
feel like
level, but
people should replay Breath of the Wild. Like, it's just
yeah,
like I'm not. Yeah, if you heard it on the Shack or the PSVG crowd, like I'm not ready to go there and be like, "Oh, that game was terrible."
yeah,
No, it wasn't.
yeah.
It was pretty
Well,
excellent.
we should
Though.
play it on our Wii U. We could. I have the original
I
game.
feel like
on the
I'm
Wii U.
playing this game very differently. My
Yeah,
strategy is the same,
yeah.
but like I'm playing it much faster. It feels
know
more
what?
like that. Like I said, like that. WoW, like an MMO. It feels different. I
Yeah.
never
Oh,
really quite
totally.
that feeling.
Oh
Where when I
man.
played Breath of the Wild, I felt more at home in like an open world adventure game where I was
Hmm.
playing more of like an Assassin's Creed game.
Yep. Yeah, totally. It's funny because I think I've just realized this. I'm playing this game like I remember playing Breath of the Wild, and it's a different game, so that's not going to work really
Yeah.
for me. Like I'll have fun, and I just won't be able to see everything. I won't get the most out of all of it if I do
I think
that.
there's a case to be made. I've been thinking on this a minute. I think there's a case to be made that like, is this like a Zelda game?
Mm,
Like in a way that like I feel is different than Breath of the Wild.
yeah,
I felt like Breath of the Wild was like an open world take on a Zelda adventure. And so far with how I'm playing and what I'm playing, I don't know. It doesn't I mean, obviously it's a Zelda game. I'm not trying to say it's not a Zelda game. Everybody
yeah. It begs
calm
the
down.
question: what
But
is
it
what is a Zelda
feels
game?
yeah, it's like it is different.
Yeah,
It's different even than Breath of the Wild. Like
mhm,
how I'm playing it, like it almost not in like monetization. I don't think I have the best words of explaining it, but it almost feels like live servicey, like this game could just continue. They could be dropping events and stuff. Like it's more like that,
yeah,
you know, like I've got these things that I'm doing daily. I've got these things like if they were respawning and moving things around and like I would just keep playing it,
hmm
and that's a different feeling than I've had, I think, from ever playing a Zelda game.
John 32 says exactly what was in my mind. Zelda is an adventure game that regularly transforms the industry. I was thinking the same thing in that, like, even just with like Z targeting on Ocarina of Time, like that was a revelation.
Yeah, no, it
Like to be
always changes. Yeah,
there's
it
this
always
thing, but
sets a new
I think
standard.
the carryovers have been more
I don't
like
think always.
streamlined.
I don't think Twilight and Wind Waker and Skyward Sword transformed the industry.
Not every, but those all followed kind of the
Link
same.
to the
They were
Past
all
did.
the Ocarina
did.
right. So there was, yeah. So you have these moments, and then you'll have games that are created in that image,
Sure.
right? So you got all the top-down ones. You've got.
I don't feel like this game was created in Breath of the Wild's image, which I think
That's
is great.
yeah.
I don't think people. It feels I just the Valheim feel. It's more
Mhm.
like that. It's more like Minecraft
Yeah.
than Breath of the Wild.
That's
like
fair.
there's so much more things like that. It almost like transitions the game. It like feels like a further departure from Breath of the Wild than I think I was expecting.
I think that's what has caught everybody by surprise. I think it goes into Nintendo's silence about the game, which I don't know if anybody was worried about that, but it was notable for sure that they didn't really talk too much about this game.
Yeah, they didn't want to.
Yeah, the surprise I think is half the factor here. But like, I don't think I found a hook shot. Like, I don't think that's one to be found. That's not a thing that's going to be in this game. Like, you think about what are the hallmarks of a Zelda game,
I don't know of any hook
maybe
shots.
there's something that you can make of that, but like that was always the thing. Like, you got to go get your hook shot. Like, you could say that before, as if you were saying like, I'm going to go get the Master Sword.
Yeah.
Like, there were things that you would go and do that maybe, to your point, if this is really a Zelda game, like that, they're almost like dungeons was a hallmark of the games, and now you have these shrines. Like, things are different. But I really like the fact that Zelda has taken maybe its rightful place in gaming to do exactly this. That when a Zelda game drops, it's enormous. It's a big deal. It's going to advance games forward. Yeah. Like, was that the case for, I'm trying to think of, like, I don't know, like Skyward Sword?
I think so.
It did get a 10 from IGN.
Skyward Sword, while not as good, was big when it dropped.
I come to really like that one.
Damn,
I'm trying to
gold
think of like
Wiimote and everything. I remember the hype for that. The hype was huge.
So which Zelda game wouldn't be like the, I mean, it's hard to compare. These are gigantic games in their importance, but not all of them can be this.
Tears of the Kingdom feels like Aonuma and the Zelda team are realizing the vision they may have had for Skyward Sword.
Totally, yeah.
That they probably couldn't pull off.
Right, and I like that. I like that. That's where Zelda has gotten to. That should be like, give us your craziest, wildest dreams, and then go make that.
That's exactly
reality.
what I'm seeing. Like, this is a crazy, wild. I mean, it's just it's pretty incredible. And I like I said, I don't necessarily think I haven't really like chewed on the thought a whole lot. I'm just kind of spitting it here. It's just I'm getting a much different feeling from how I'm playing Tears of the Kingdom and what I'm playing. It just feels very different than Breath of the Wild.
I think
Breath of the Wild felt definitely like, in comparison, Breath of the Wild's a way more grounded game.
Right.
And that's why, did you listen to PSVG?
Yep.
I pushed back on Delvin a bit because when he first played it, he was like, this is everything that I wanted from the first one, and it wasn't that. And I'm like, I couldn't be further opposite on that, on just that opinion.
Right.
Because he's like, I wanted more story, I wanted more linearity. I'm like, this is not that.
Right.
This is the opposite. The story's better, but this is anything but linear.
It just
anything but that. Like, playing Tears of the Kingdom makes me feel like Breath of the Wild was linear.
Well, I will say that I don't remember there being like waypoints as much for that were actually helpful for me in Breath of the Wild. I don't remember that. I like my memory of Breath of the Wild, and I didn't play it twice like you, was like, main mission, go beat Ganon. And that was kind of it. And I'm like, okay, that's pretty open-ended. Obviously not what's meant for me right now.
I mean, yeah, they show you the only difference between Tears of the Kingdom and Breath of the Wild in that regard is when Breath of the Wild opens, they tell you where Ganon is and you can go there.
Right.
But when you follow the quest, the main quest, and they're like, hey, you need these machines to help you. They are at these 4 points.
That's fair.
They're doing exactly what they're doing now. But with all these different economies that Tears of the Kingdom has, and all of these different systems that they have, and all these different mechanics that they have, I'm just like what you were saying. You're like, I'm going off and I'm being pulled in 1,000 different directions, I'm going different. Like, I feel like Tears of the Kingdom is anything but linear.
Yeah.
Whereas in Breath of the Wild, I remember going, I'm going to go to the Rito Village and I'm going to go that way. And maybe I do a shrine or something along the way, but there wasn't a whole lot to do, right?
Yeah.
Like, you do some shrines, maybe you fight a Bokoblin camp, you're still just on your way to that. Yeah. Whereas Tears of the Kingdom is like, just if you just visit a village or two, you'll have 18 different side quests, and there's the depths, and there's the
I also don't even want to go to them. I'm like, I know what that's going to require from me. Like, get me away
it's
from
like
there.
It's anything but linear. Where Breath of the Wild feels like super linear when you compare them to. Well, like, if you were comparing the linearity of one or the other, it's like, this one is super way more organized and focused. It's like way more condensed.
Jeff makes up his mind before he actually plays the games, and then reports back on whatever opinion that was. I'm
not trying to say his opinion is wrong. I'm just pointing out how different I would look at it.
I think that I know how he got to there. Just like when Delvin said God of War was Game of the Year after 3 hours into it.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I'm not opposing anybody from doing that, but
is this your Game of the Year? Speaking of that,
I think John 32 is getting one of them. He's like, I had the same thought. Yeah. And like, this game feels so different in that regard.
It's just funny how like the relativity of it, I think, plays.
There's caves. Have you gone to caves yet?
No. Oh, caves. Yes. I'm finding all the caves. There's a dude who like was tracking down great clothes, like great armor and thing like that. And I've gone down those things. Yep. That's been super fun.
You've done the cherry blossom thing?
I'm in it right now, actually.
Like the tree?
I'm like going after it. Yeah. I've just found like I'm supposed to go find it. Maybe I'm thinking.
Yeah, go to the cherry blossom. When you get off the Great Sky Island and you go to that first little like village you're kind of directed to, there's a cherry blossom right off to the right of it. Just
okay, man, I might be thinking something else. Okay, yeah,
there's a cherry blossom tree, like the Iwata tree. It's got pink flowers. Cherry blossom. Go to the tree and put like some fruit in the tree thing.
Okay,
and go see what happens.
That's half the game. That's 90% of the game. Just go see what happens.
Yeah,
just go try this stuff.
Yeah. So yeah, that's why when I started playing the game after my first couple play sessions, that's when I settled on like, okay, I need to start like taking chunks at this.
Yeah.
Right? Like this is a tree to chop down, but like I need to start focusing the chops.
I think that's what surprises me about the like the popularity of it. And same thing with Elden Ring. I know they're different games and people will shout at me for even putting those two in the same sentence, but like I don't think this is an easy game. This isn't like you just
they're
play
separate
it.
games, but I think there's probably some serious similarities there.
Yeah. Well, I think just how big it is. You can go anywhere. Like I don't know. I don't want to get
some enemies you walk up to, and you're like,
yeah, they'll kick the shit out of you.
Holy fuck!
Totally. Yeah, and again, like I don't mean to bring like the difficulty makes them the exact same thing, but I guess what I'm trying to say is this isn't. Video games have spent decades trying to make them more approachable for people of all skill sets, and Zelda, I guess, kind of does that. But it's a difficult game to wrap your head around. I think, like everything you talk about here,
a very difficult game to hand to a 7-year-old.
Right.
Like
and
they
it
could
sold
play
10
around
million
and have
copies
fun.
in 3 days.
They could play with some amiibo and like try to fight something and like fall down or fly but like just trying to explain the build mechanics, I think, are convoluted.
Totally. Yep.
Like as much as I'm into it, I've got serious.
Oh yeah. Try pick a new bow real quick.
I really don't like the arrows thing. The
terrible.
Like, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Constantly going through all these materials, just trying to find something. Like
that's the egregious. That might be one of it.
I'd much rather just have like a torch nearby that I can light arrows on fire with. It's like, this is
right.
Yeah. I don't like doing that. I think the inventory, like being streamlined, is good. I don't like hopping between abilities.
Same.
I wish the abilities were more on the same scale of how you change weapons instead of the radio wheel. Because I'm constantly, and I notice it more often when I need to use more than one or two in a given period of time.
I saw somebody post
because then I'm rewinding things I wanted to fuse, or I'm pulling up fuse. I'm like, what the? Like it's very annoying.
And you have to be careful of the rate. I don't know about you, but I find sometimes I'm like, okay, I'm aiming at the right one. Okay, now I can select it. It's not necessarily like, because it wasn't a radial dial in Breath of the Wild.
No,
for your powers.
No, that's new.
They were horizontal.
It's brand new, exactly.
And I saw a video of somebody else doing this, like kind of to your point. They did one power and then they switched to another, and then they switched to another. I'm like, it took them forever.
Yeah.
Like,
and when you're doing it mid combat, like if you're in a goblin camp, it just disrupts the flow of what you're doing. Like the game totally freezes and stops. You're doing it more than one time, and it's just like,
I'm trying to find like the person who does it very smooth. Like I guess maybe this is just practice. We just got to get used to this sort of thing. But like, is there ever a time where you still need to do all of those things and it looks smooth, even just to watch it? Like I don't know if that exists. I don't know if the game allows for that.
I think it's a convoluted schematic.
Yeah.
Like it's just how they've envisioned. Like you can't have all these things on.
Overrated, Donnie.
Yeah.
How could it be
controller.
The best rated game? Dang reviews.
Oh well, I don't care about the reviews, the ratings. You know that.
Yeah, that's a frustrating thing. Just that the controls, the way that you interact with the game, kind of you're fighting with it a little bit.
But I did to add a little bit more to this conversation. I won't say who, but I follow a YouTube channel that I've followed for a long time. They talk about all kinds of things, but they talk about games. It's a YouTube channel I've really appreciated, like their takes on games over the years. I've always thought they're like well sound, and they hate Tears of the Kingdom.
Oh wow!
And that was a tough listen.
Yeah,
because they listened. The reasons that the things that they said, I thought were trivial and dumb. And have you ever? I'm sure we all have. Make you think less of like your time.
Oh, there's no doubt
with somebody or a creator. Yeah, they were whining about like the animations in shrines. They're like, there's too many. There's a shrine when you enter and when you go in, and like,
I mean, that's true.
If it's a combat one, and then when you leave, I'm like, who cares?
Yeah.
Like, is this really your fatal flaw of this game?
Yeah.
Is how many animations the shrines
It seems like a choice. It seems like a conscious decision to go like, I'm going to weigh this very heavily.
I'm going to zag.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Against the rest of the world's, like that's what I was taking from it.
That's usually what I think. Like just to have an additional, like, usually I see when somebody comes to the table with an opposing view that they're doing it for the sake of having an opposing view, like to be contrarian.
That's how
about it.
That's how I took it.
Yeah,
And it just made me think. I was like, I don't want to write them off of like this outlet forever, but man, this is egregious. This is ridiculous.
Well, yeah. What else do
they whined about the building mechanic? That was the other one.
Oh, really?
They really hate it. Yeah,
the like, rotating. I don't like. I don't like the rotating items.
Yeah, the rotating is not good. Have you tried the reset?
No.
When you're rotating, if you hold down the ZL button, it'll take whatever object you're at and like set it back to like 0.
Oh, that's a good thing to know.
It speeds up a little.
Yeah, that would be
helpful. Not great.
And again,
it speeds
I don't know
exactly
what I would do different. I don't know why I feel like I'm comparing it to something else because I can't think off the top of my head.
No, I'm with you. No, actually, that's one I agree with. Rotating is weird, and I think it's weird because you just can't rotate.
Right.
That's the problem. The problem is that you can rotate that you rotate everything in 25 degrees. Like what you want to do, what I feel like what's natural is you want to rotate with the stick. Like we want to just rotate the object like you do in every Uncharted, the Order, and every other game ever. You just want to rotate the stick. But even they that, move I don't know everything if it's on 25 degrees in every axis, right? You can move everything in quarters, in circles, and up and down, and then you turn it in 45 degrees. And you just keep rotating.
At least it's a rule set. At least I know that limitation, and I'm like, okay, once I can wrap my head around that, then I can. And especially that reset is probably
the reset helps. Once I started doing that more, I was like, okay, this makes this a little easier. Yeah. I find it more finicky when you're attaching things. Like everything has to be very tight and proper, like exactly on the right axis and everything. That's a little bit more convoluted.
Yeah.
They try to do some smart stuff where, like, if you attach a fan to a thing, like they try to assume that you meant to like put it here. There is some of that going on, which I think I applaud them for doing that. I think that's probably to try and make it more accessible.
Yeah.
Friendlier to kids.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's still not like great. You can still put like a fan on, like, I'm sure it takes a minute to get used to just whichever way fans go.
Yeah.
Like which way does this like?
This is where you need the Wii U gamepad, Donnie. You need to be able to like manipulate this stuff and kind of use your stylus, spin it around, put it in its precise place.
Nuts and Bolts?
Yes, we were talking about that for sure, dude. Nuts and Bolts is, and I said it from when I first played it, which was not until the Rare Replay version that came out. I think that game is very good. I think it's way better than regular Banjo and Kazooie because I don't want to just run around. I probably
agree with
stuff.
You there. I've never been much of a Banjo fan to begin with, but like you see like what they were doing with it, and then like what this is doing with a similar idea. I think this is way more elegant. Like it's way more approachable solution. So it's hard
just open.
It's hard to be too upset about it. The fact that you just do it on the fly too is also like a really big deal.
Yeah, I've already upset at least one person with my Banjo Kazooie claim.
Or he may have said that to me. I'm not that into Banjo. Period.
Court is also trying to distract me by having me look at my watch, and he got me. So there you go. Good job, Court. But at the end of all this, I'm probably going to end up getting a portable PC. Probably going to end up getting this little mini handheld RG35.
Yeah, don't get the portable PC, Sean. You're not going to play it. Get the Game Boy though. I think you'll play
probably
it a lot.
Not.
And Lincoln will play it a ton. Chelsea will play it a ton.
Lincoln would probably play it. Lincoln's down for that kind of thing.
It's so cool. Sure. It's got so many good games on it.
I do have to load up their 3DSs with a few
Streets
more
of Rage.
Games. Streets of Rage, dude. That's a conversation. I don't know if Chelsea's like down for that, for like fighting games for the kids. She's very nervous about that sort of thing. That the
Streets of Rage.
It's a fighting game. Like it's
from
brawling.
Like 30 years ago.
I know. I don't.
You pick up the chickens on the floor and like, come on, man! I didn't tell you like go out there and Mortal Kombat 1, folks.
Yeah. Are you? You don't do fighting games. You don't do fighting games.
Not really.
But like, what about this Mortal Kombat 1 thing? No.
Like, especially with me being like way more choosy about the games that I buy.
Yeah.
I just don't have time to buy games like that.
See, those get games, that on Game Pass.
Those games are definitely, that's exactly what I was about to say. I will try or look at that one day if it ever comes to Game Pass. Outside of a Game Pass, like I can't spend $6. I think Street Fighter looks incredible.
Same here.
I want to play it, but I won't. Like I won't. I'm just not going to buy the game because I'm not that into it. I know I won't play it that long. I probably wouldn't finish a campaign. Wouldn't be good enough to finish a campaign. And if I did, that'd be when I'd finish the game. Is when I finish the campaign. That'd be all I play it. I'm not going to pay $70 for a game like that.
Street Fighter 6. I'm looking at this.
Banjo rules.
Oh my
Not as much as
gosh.
Streets of Rage, though, Court.
Not as much. Well, Streets of Rage has a great soundtrack. They both do.
Mortal Kombat's coming to Switch, though, right?
Is it really?
I think so. Yeah, and like that's one thing Street Fighter isn't. So that's pretty good.
Yeah. It doesn't need to come to Switch, though.
I mean, I wouldn't buy anything on. I think no, Mortal Kombat, like the Mortal Kombat that's on Switch, is pretty good.
I have placed a hold for Street Fighter 6 at my local library. I am 32nd in line, and people can borrow these for 3 weeks at a time. So whatever that math works out to be. And it's great. This is so funny that I have Xbox and PlayStation. If I wanted it on PlayStation, there are 74 holds, and there's only 31 holds on Xbox. Like just a little
that's
small sample
70-30.
Totally.
The ratio totally works out. Like
yeah,
it fits.
That's so interesting.
The shoe fits.
Are you streaming on this on Facebook as well?
Am I?
Does it stream to Facebook as well?
I think so, yeah.
That is fascinating.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that. You guys still have a Facebook group and everything? And
no, we don't. It's just like a page that we auto put. Like it's not an active space. For a long time, we just point everything back to the Discord.
Yeah.
The Discord is our website. The Discord is our landing page. Like it's just the Discord. Everybody come back to the Discord.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But we do we do stream to Facebook. I have it set up to where Facebook will automatically pick up our account when we go live. So you'll get Shaq and PSVG and everything at Facebook automatically.
I think a whole bunch of new games just got listed for the library. I'm just going to go ahead and place holds on all these. I think I'm getting Diablo Day 1. I think that's what I'm planning on doing.
Zelda.
That's
See, that's the thing. You're going to be doing that thing where you just said you can't.
I know.
You're just going to move. I know. You're just going to move to the next day one, and the next day one, and the next day one. And I get it.
But
we all get
that's
it.
Just it. No, but I haven't done any day ones this whole year. Zelda is my first day one.
Oh, I remember.
And it just happens.
When you got your big Xbox, when you came back to Xbox, that podcast.
Yeah.
Ryan was like, "This is why I don't play games on day one, Sean," and then proceeded to like in the next breath talk about all the games he was buying on day one. In like 3 weeks, he was like, "But I'm buying all 5."
100%. This is my rule, except for this time and this time and this time and this time.
That was great. I laughed out loud. I was eating my lunch listening to Xbox Drive. I was like, this is great. He's like, see, Sean, you got to learn from me. This is why I don't play games on day one. He's like, but I'm so excited to get Diablo.
and Street Fighter and Final Fantasy.
And Final Fantasy.
What the heck is Aliens Dark Descent? Is that like top-down
I have no idea, Sean.
thing? I'm putting a hold on it. Sonic Origins Plus, I don't know what that is. I'm putting a hold on it. Exo Primal.
That's the Sonic Origins that they added extra levels and extra game. The Game Gear.
I don't need that. I don't need that.
No, you don't. No, you don't.
No, cancel. The kids might like it. Nah, but they're not playing on the Series X. So
Sonic Frontiers, man. Give that to the kids.
I do have a digital version of that.
That's a good game. I like the game.
I don't think it is.
It's very good.
I do have to give it another try.
You would just be wrong.
Just straight up, that is an incorrect.
I like that game a lot.
How do I not have it?
Best-selling Sonic 3D game of all time?
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Sales doesn't mean it's good though.
That's true.
But I liked Sonic Frontiers a lot. I can't wait for Sonic Frontiers 2.
I've got holds on. This is what I'm just going to do this year, Don. I'll just whatever the library says that I can play it. That's what I'll do. Jedi Star Wars Survivor. I can play that on the library. I don't.
Is this Kevin? Save the Game Media, Kevin?
Yeah.
Kevin says he's waiting $20 price tag for Frontiers. I am waiting on the $20 price tag for Lego 2K Drive. That's the game that's hurting. That's the game I want. I want to play it. It looks great, but I'm playing Zelda. I'm going to be playing Zelda for the definite future. And I know that if I just stay firm and be patient, I'm going to get that game on a deal. I'm going to be able to get that game for like $30 in like 4 weeks.
What did you think of PGA Tour Road to the Masters? Did you play that one?
The EA game?
Yeah.
It's hot trash. Hot trash.
Is it really?
It's really bad.
Really? I just picked it up from the library and I won't play it.
It's on Game Pass.
I guess it is. Yeah. Why did I do that?
You got a 10-hour trial. It's on Game Pass.
Oh,
me and Court talked about it. Yeah, see, Court. Yeah, PGA is so bad. We talked about it. Here's the thing, Sean. It's gorgeous. It's the most beautifulest golf game I've ever seen, and it is a slog to play. It is so boring to hit the ball. It's so lifeless. The characters seem so robotic. It's just
so PGA like 2K23, the one with Tiger on the cover.
Yes, yeah.
I can pick it up tomorrow.
We can play that if you get on PC. We play together.
Oh,
No, that's
WWE
crossplay.
2K23. I'm getting
That's
on
another
Xbox.
one I haven't bought because I'm waiting. Because again,
Oh, I'll
see,
get that from the library.
I've
Look at all
felt
these
very-
games, dude.
I felt very
What are
proud
we
of myself.
doing right now?
I feel very
Yeah.
proud of myself. I said I was not going to just buy everything, and I've committed to it. I really have
Good
it.
for you. I'm
There's
proud of
several
you.
games that I'm waiting to get that I'm just waiting to get on deals, and not just deals, but when I have time. When I have time to play them.
Deals because I was
Like
that's
I
what I
played
thought we were
nothing
going to
but
go
Resident
today.
Evil 4,
Yep.
and then to Zelda.
I actually thought we might end up getting ourselves into some trouble here together, Donnie. I
Redfall.
thought we would end up on Steam, just searching sales,
Just getting
and
stuff?
seeing just getting stuff. Yeah.
Hey, I like a good sale.
Death Stranding is free on Epic Games right now.
Fuck that
Like,
game. Nope, not that. Not that game. Good God. You walk around and carry these
Death
boxes.
Stranding is free. Fuck that game. Dude.
God, no.
Oh my god.
That'd be the other one, like Mass Effect that I don't get.
Oh,
okay.
dude. Mass Effect is so good.
What do we got?
Genosha
here?
is 20% on Steam. Like, are we gonna do this? Are we gonna get ourselves into
You can
some
get
trouble
Need
here?
for Speed Unbound for $20, and
I
would
have that
be-
game. I got a free copy of
You
that
can get the
game.
Mass
I think.
Effect Legendary Edition for
Have that game too.
$14.99.
You should get that game for $14.99.
I would if I had any hope that I would like it.
Yeah, no, it's real good.
Skyrim
too
for
bad.
$10.
I've played the first, like, I've broken out of jail or whatever, like 3 times on Skyrim. I don't
Mhm.
know. That's it.
Okay, hang on a second. We've got some things to talk about.
Okay.
I can get Tom Clancy's The Division 2 for $4.
Oh, get that. Yes. Have you
I could
played
play
that?
on the
Did you do
I could play it
Division?
on the portable.
Yeah.
Played a
Yep.
little bit.
I think that's come. There were people in our PC chat, in our Discord, talking about bringing the Division back. I think Court is one of them.
Ooh, that's
Lee,
enticing.
yeah, I think we could get a little. Jason, I used to play that a couple times. That was
And
kinda
it's on
fun.
Steam too, because I think I've got it on Ubisoft Store, but who likes that?
Yeah, I have it on Steam. Yeah.
Yeah. Ooh.
Are we doing the Division? Okay, so nuts to Zelda. We just talked about Zelda for an hour straight.
NBA
But-
2K for $10.
I don't understand. I wish I could understand how to control that damn game. Like, I just don't get it.
$10. That might be worth just adding for the little portable.
Just having it. See, this is what I mean. Like, let's just buy a bunch of games. This is what I did at the end of the holiday season last year.
What's the
Haven't gotten
difference
to most
between
of those
the
games.
Division and the Warlords of New York edition?
Well, I don't know if it's bundled in, but the New York is it was a
It's an
DLC.
expansion.
Yeah, but I don't know if they're selling the main game with that, or if you have to still buy them
No,
separately.
you gotta get the main. You can get the main game for $4.49.
Yeah.
You can get the Warlords of New York for $9, and it comes with
Oh,
the
that's
main
interesting.
game.
Oh, that's what I'm asking. Yeah. So get
Yeah,
that.
it
The New
comes
York
with
was awesome because Division 2, if I remember correctly, that was in Washington, DC, and New York was the original Division game.
You get the Ultimate Edition, which comes with the Year 1 Pass content and the Ultimate Pack.
I get so confused with that stuff. Like, what is that?
$11.99. It just looks
Just
like
get it. Just whatever it is. Like, it sounds like
It
it's all a
looks
big
like
deal. Just get
badges and
all
like
the
a
things.
gun and a costume and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. Division's good, man. Like, it's, people like to hate on stuff.
Let
It
me go
didn't
check
get
my.
its.
Hang on, before I start leaving, let me go check on my wish list. Maybe I've got stuff that I have on my wish list on sale.
Look at your wish list. See, maybe I should just stop running. Maybe I should.
I could get Retromania Wrestling for $15.
Where are you looking right now? What are you
I'm on Steam.
scrolling through? Just straight Steam? Just
I'm on my wish list on Steam.
Oh, okay.
I'm looking for games since I haven't checked sales for a minute.
Sale.
I love this. Should be the new tagline for the podcast. I
The
love it.
disrespect for Death Stranding.
That should be it. Sweet Hangs,
Mm-hmm.
a disrespect for Death Stranding podcast.
Yep. Yeah. What is good about Death Stranding?
Nothing.
Exactly.
The
Exactly.
graphics. It's a beautiful.
Yeah,
game.
that's true.
Looks great
yeah.
to look at.
Monster Energy drinks.
So everybody's telling me to get the New York one.
Yeah.
All
Yeah,
I
that's
want
good
you to do
stuff.
is sell this to Donnie.
There is almost nothing on sale on my wish list. Oh, Titanfall 2. I feel like I already own that though. Titanfall 2 is $4.
Yeah,
Canadian.
a lot of the sales, like I've got sales, but they're not particularly good sales.
Yeah.
You know, like WWE 2K and stuff like that are still over 40. But
Some of these show up and I
Retromania I've
never know
looked
where
at
they
for a
came
long
from.
time. and it's almost never
Wow.
on sale.
Which one was that?
It's an old. It's not old. It's a wrestling game that they made with a bunch of old wrestlers. So it's got like Steven Richards in it, and I think like Hawk and Animal, and it looks like the new wrestling game. I'm probably not going to get it. I probably need to get it like super cheap, not like 15 off. Like I need to get it for like $5.
You can play the Division 2 free this weekend until May 22nd at 11 a.m. You can play it until tomorrow morning.
Well, if I do buy it, I'm not going to play it probably until the Ally comes. Like that would be what I would play it on.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, Tiny
solo?
Tina's is on half price. Good God.
Can I play it solo?
Yeah, I mostly played it solo.
Okay, because you know me, I'm always down for a good shooter.
I think you'll love it. Like, I actually can't believe you haven't played it.
I think we did play. I think I played it with you guys once. I can get Dragon Age Inquisition on Steam for $4.
I just saw that. Wasn't going to mention it because I feel like you would hate that game.
I did. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan.
Yeah.
I remember it won Game of the Year, and I was like, what?
Was that the same year, or there was Witcher just after that?
But I like the one before it. Yeah, I think The Witcher came after.
Yeah. I like guessing. I wish I didn't know so much, like just by listening to so much of what you like and dislike, but I would love to like make a game of that. Like, let's see if this is a Donnie game. Like, just see what you think about it, I guess. But I know.
I feel like I've got you down enough to be able to do that.
I don't know if I have me down enough to know.
Yeah, you're pretty everywhere.
I'm all over the place, man.
And you'll come out of nowhere. You'll be like, I love this indie game, you know, which I guess I do too. But I still feel like my indie games are like, for years, people in Discord have been like, this is a Donnie game. So I feel like I have a type.
Yeah, I don't. Again,
or you'll go from like Neon White to like Tales of Arise.
I was just gonna bring up Tales of Arise. Like, where did that game?
Where like
come
my
from?
indie love is like, I love Cult of the Lamb, and everybody's like, yeah, of course you do.
Yeah, obviously. Yeah, yeah. Death's Door.
No
Cult
shit.
Cult of the Lamb. Yeah. Yeah, that's true.
So yeah,
I don't know. Like, I don't know why that is. I like the reason.
That new Square Enix game that's coming out. Is it Square? Yeah, the Avium game, whatever. The Magic
I have no
shooter.
idea. Yeah, no clue.
I'm gonna try that too. Maybe
that's one thing that maybe I'm not really
it's
in
an EA
for. Like,
game. That's Square.
There are games that a lot of people do like that I don't love like they do. Like, I think the Dishonored games, they don't really jive with me. Metal Gear Solid games don't really jive with me.
Metal Gear Solid, yeah.
And I wish they did, because they look so cool.
Catalyst is $2.
You know what? People should play Mirror's Edge Catalyst for $2.
Should they?
I think so. For $2? Yes, of course. Yes. That's a quality game. That's a cool one. Especially if you liked Neon White, I guess.
You also get Spore for $2.
Spore? Wow.
I did like Neon White quite a bit.
You did like it?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
See, and I wouldn't know what
really
to.
Good.
I thought it was great. Oh
yeah,
man,
really
Mirror's Edge Catalyst is on Game Pass, but for $2, can I? This is maybe a Xbox Drive conversation, but like I have Game Pass until I think May 2025. Like I've got it for a long time here.
Same. I think mine's out further than that actually.
I'm very curious if I would keep going after that point. Like and it's not a decision I need to make obviously for quite some time, but I'm like,
for years.
What does Game Pass look like in May of 2025 or
hopefully
whenever?
Better.
Right.
Hopefully better.
Which will be exactly the time that I actually have to start like paying for it to a larger extent.
Okay, so let me ask you the question better. And I don't think this is a question for Xbox Drive. I think this question is rooted firmly right here.
Sure.
If there was a sale tomorrow, 50% on Game Pass codes, would you get one?
That is a great way to say it, and I wouldn't. No.
I think I'd be good with.
Yeah.
I'm good for what I've got for now.
Exactly. Yeah. And I don't think that that's really all that damning of a statement about Game Pass. Like what maybe another way to ask it is like, what discount would get you to do it? Like if it was 75% off, would you do it?
Well, we haven't had the 2 for 1 or the buy 2.
It's gone.
Yeah, we haven't had that one in a minute.
Yeah.
No, it was buy 1, get 3. That's the one.
I think if I saw it's like 75% off for like 6 months or something, I'd probably do that. But half off, maybe not.
Let me look it up. Now I got to look it up.
Like how long you have it until?
Yeah, because I stopped stashing them because I was wanting to see what this family plan is going to be, which I assume we'll see at the showcase.
Yep.
I've been thinking they've been holding that for the showcase.
Yep.
So because Kevin and I are pretty set that we're gonna go to the family plan, unless the money doesn't work out. Like if it's gonna double what I'm paying in Game Pass now,
Yeah.
because the reason I've been stashing codes, I mean, is because I love Game Pass. But the reason I've been stashing codes is because I'm worried about a price increase.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like I'm looking at like hedging my bets. If I can save a penny now to pay bills later. So like if I'm getting extra years of Game Pass at this price and next year they raise the price, you know, like I still have all of those. So here's what I've got. Ooh. Where did I put that?
I'm trying to like click. There we go. I'm trying to click on my dang profile.
So I've got Game Pass right now secured until September 29th, 2025.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about this for 2 years. Plus 2+ years.
I have a list of codes somewhere. I can't remember where Yeah.
Oh my gosh. You don't have to worry about that. Oh my God, dude.
I just got I don't know where I put the document. It has all my codes.
Oh, I'm like right there with you. What month of 2025? September
29th, 2025.
I'm August 19th, 2025. I'm good until then. So
I found it.
We should snap back to this date when we're doing Sweet Hangs.
I should have known
in September.
I've got it on it's locked in my OneDrive. Okay. I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, or I guess I should count these in 4s. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years. I've got 3 years and 9 months of code stacked.
Good God.
That could go on top of the 25 that I just can't redeem yet because
you are damn near at 2030.
Yeah.
You're like 2028, basically 2028, 2029, something like that. That's hilarious.
So what happens is every year at Black Friday when they do sales, I snatch up codes.
Yep. Makes sense.
I just keep stashing them away. I'm like, just add them to the pile.
Yep. I think that totally makes sense.
And then when the plan is like when the family plan comes, if it makes sense, then I'll lock in, upgrade, and then convert all of that.
You could start selling some of those off to the community for like, you know, a 15% markup for you, which would still be a discount for them. Like you've got like a wholesale thing kind of going here, Donnie.
Yeah, I don't know, man.
Look at that, Kevin Ray in the chat. If you're looking to sell any of those codes, Donnie.
We'll trade for game codes or
yeah, man. Yeah, like you're sitting on assets.
They used to always use the smog GIF when they were talking about it in their Discord and stuff. Like Donnie's just over here hoarding Game Pass.
I think it's a good idea. Hopefully Xbox is still around because the Starfield doesn't work out.
Those deals have been going away.
Oh yeah. Yeah, you can't count on
the discount codes and stuff have been getting fewer and like they've been getting less.
Mm-hmm.
They're not as frequent and they're not as good.
It devalues.
We used to get
Game
the buy
Pass.
1 get 3, and I would buy as many of those as they give me.
Mm-hmm.
And then they became like buy 2 get 1, and then they were like 15% off. You know, like and like now we're starting. You know, like so. They haven't officially raised the price, but I feel like they've already been raising the price.
I see what you're saying. That totally makes sense. Yeah.
So that's why I've been stashing them when I can.
There's something to be said about Nintendo never reducing prices. Breath of the Wild is still full pop. Same price as when it was released.
Somebody in our Discord was like, we'll wait for a sale. I was like,
For Tears of the Kingdom?
Yeah.
Are they new?
Be waiting a long time. I think it was a joke, but still.
Oh yeah, no, that's not a thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not going to be a thing. I mean, Black Friday, maybe you get it for 60.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that's what hurt Mario and Rabbids Sparks of Hope. Was everybody was like, I'll just wait for this game to be $20 because that's what happened with Kingdom Battle.
I just didn't like the first
one. Yeah,
personally,
came at a good time for me. Like I played it, got through it. I'm glad.
Jesus, he's done in a month.
Yeah. That doesn't surprise me. No, and I'd be curious to know about a lot of people who like it's different for us. We're 2025. We don't even have to think about this.
Here's the thing.
But if yours ended tomorrow, would you go buy more Game Pass?
Yeah, I would. And here's the thing. I think the crux of that is in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
If you rewinded this 2 months ago and we're playing Hi-Fi Rush, be a different answer.
Yeah.
Just like I think
interesting.
if you fast forward this 4 months, you're playing Forza and Starfield, probably be a
Oh
different
yeah.
answer.
Oh yeah. Totally. Yeah.
You know, I am still here for Hellblade and Fable and Avowed and Perfect Dark.
The things are still coming.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I
It's
know
always,
that we're gonna get Forza's in there and Gears, and I'm
dude, I'm
hoping this
stoked for
Activision gets
Forza.
done. Because if this Activision thing gets through, I've got Call of Duty for years.
I know.
You know, like,
That's yeah.
for a decade, I've just got Call of Duty.
Until 2023. I mean, potentially till you might have Game Pass until the next console.
I think, yeah, I'd make that bet now.
When did these things come out? 2020 or 2021?
You mean the next console, like if they did like
a
Series X
PS6
Plus? Oh, you mean like the next gen?
Potentially, like if you're talking, you got 6 years.
I think we will, because they're doing iteratives. I think we'll get faster console generations. So
that's crazy. Like that's, I just want to like kind of put some like framework around that.
I think everybody makes fun of me, but I don't think it's like smart to give them their money up front. It's just like it's such an easy deal.
Yeah, Jason.
And here's the thing: I don't even play on console. You know, like I'm a PC gamer, so like, and I'm still
you're on
all
PC
in.
Game Pass.
I'm still all in.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I don't have to think about it right now. That's most things in my life. I'd rather just like not have to think about it. Just like set it away and make a good decision at one time, and then I'll figure the rest out later.
I get what Jace is saying, and I feel like if I was still on Twitter, which I'm not, like that would be like a Twitter type take.
Oh yeah, I forgot to ask you about that.
But I'm on Planet of Lana.
Yeah,
like, those are the games that I have Game Pass with.
Mm-hmm.
Cult of the Lamb and Planet of Lana and Death's Door, and like I'm the Starfields and the Hi-Fi Rushes and stuff will fall wherever they fall.
Mm-hmm.
But I wholeheartedly give Xbox my money, because month to month they deliver games that I would buy instead.
I mean, that's absolutely.
It saves me money.
Yeah. You still have access to Twitter as like with Shaq and PSVG's handles.
Correct.
So do you have it on your phone
with the other team? No.
Yeah. You don't have Twitter on your phone. So
no,
like you've been able to, like you've stepped away and
I don't have, no, when I had my account, I would have like certain accounts that would notify me of like when things are happening, like Wario and Jeff. I have none of that. I don't.
Yeah.
The closest I get to seeing real time like Twitter takes is like if somebody posts them to Reddit. You know, that's not true. I have kind of circumvented this. I set up a Discord bot that pulls certain accounts into our Discord, and we have a channel that throws like just news.
Yeah.
So like IGN, and it's not IGN because I don't use IGN, but like Eurogamer, Gematsu,
I think that's a good idea.
Wario, like this stuff's just feeding our Discord.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
I think that's a great idea. Is that like really what people like? Did you ever get into using lists on Twitter? Like I never did that, but maybe that's like, should I just have a list for the Wario 64s of the world?
I did that some time ago, and then I kind of ventured away from it and started using more notifications and stuff. But
I need L Babbins.
I log in on Twitter
do you use L Babbins in your Discord, the Canadian
I log
version
in on
of Wario
Twitter
64?
on Wednesday.
Yeah.
To get questions for PSVG.
Yeah.
I log in on Friday to get questions for Shaq.
Like you log in from not from your phone, but like from your
PC,
from your desk there.
Yeah.
So it's just
log in, and
I'm always just interested to the access that people have of it when they try to step away. Like they always kind of have like another way to.
I'm
still
very
have it
in
on
the
your
dark.
phone, but different.
I'm
good.
Very in the dark.
I like your
off.
webhooks. Yeah.
And the first thing when I first started it, so when I first stepped away, obviously I think you go through like a withdrawal.
Yeah.
It was tough. I think the first like 48 hours. You just felt like the need. Like there's always like that. I don't know how to explain it. Like that. What am I thinking of? I'm trying to think of the term. You know, you just like get used to. You have like that ingrained
like muscle
emotion.
memory.
Yeah, muscle. Thank you. When I'm opening my phone, I'm looking for the icon.
Totally. Yeah.
Like I noticed that was there. But after about a week, I think I told Dev, I was like, I didn't realize it, but I completely forgot about Twitter all day today until somebody shared something that happened or whatever. And then, the further more days went by, and now I barely even think about it anymore.
You know what established that?
I didn't even ask for questions last night. I forgot about questions. I was like,
oh no. The thing that established that muscle memory for me was it's so weird because I can actually almost like remember the moment that the addiction set in. Was back in the day. This is probably years ago, which is why it's so dangerous now. There was a time, especially around like E3 time, where you would open up Twitter and some bombshell had gone off, like in a good way, like some, like this is the new PS4, like this is what it looks like holy crap, or Game Pass is doing day and date for first party releases. Like there were like these massive moments that were happening that I don't know if they've really been happening lately. So you're constantly like chasing that high of like, what is going to be the news of the day, who bought who, or what happened here, blah, blah, blah. And it's mundane, actually. Like you go on Twitter right now, like I think that's why everybody's complaining, because there's nothing like all that exciting. There's nothing groundbreaking at all that's happening right now.
Didn't they? So like all the changes that they seem to be making, and I'm again not using it, so it's from afar, make me think that maybe I probably got out at the right time. Like it doesn't seem like they're adding a lot of interesting, good stuff to it.
I don't have a prejudice against Twitter like a lot of people do, or Elon for that matter. Like I don't, I actually don't find it very interesting when a lot of times it seems like people make that their entire personality to hate on one person, or even just generally people. Like people who make a point to tweet out, this person's a piece of shit. And it's like, well, good for you.
I definitely have that opinion on Elon, but I wasn't even speaking of Elon. I'm just thinking of the things that I've heard that they're adding like voices, like voice, you can call people on Twitter.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
And
see, it's funny. I didn't even realize, dude, it took me 5 hours to open up my map on Zelda. So what do I know?
I think they're doing that. And they took away was it like the chronological tweets?
No,
where you just have like the For You page and stuff now, unless you
I don't even know if that ever worked. You could click on the chronological thing. Yeah.
I'm on a social media Reddit. They talk about like Reddit and Facebook and like the new trends and things that are coming. And I was reading through like a thread of like these new changes for Twitter, and I was like, this doesn't seem good.
Yeah, I'm
but
less
maybe
interested
if you're
on
a user, maybe they are.
I'm less interested in the platform and more just about like what are the things to talk about. Like, so this would apply. What I'm really talking about would apply on Twitter or Reddit or anything else.
Yeah, that I understand.
So there's nothing that they can do to the platform that would manufacture that for me. I don't think, because there's nothing happening. But I feel that
PlayStation
still
showcase drops.
Right. Yeah, and is that the closest that it gets?
I
guess. I don't know. It's a weird thing how that seemed to just happen all the time. They still have chronological order. Yeah.
I'm just going off of, because I've just replaced it with Reddit, which has been a long thing coming. I've been using more and more Reddit, I think, for the past 2 years, like as it goes on.
And you're at your desk more. Like you're surfing the web.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wouldn't want to use Reddit on my phone, which is maybe
I just like Reddit's
statement.
I like Reddit's. The thing that I've gotten used to with Reddit, it's still not my favorite website, like design wise, like look.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I really like Reddit's ability to surface like the headline, the news, and diminish the importance of the conjecture and the opining.
Interesting.
I don't see nearly as much of I'm so angry and this sucks and Elon sucks.
This is what
it's not that. It's very topical.
Yeah.
It's like reading a newspaper. And if you want to keep diving and keep scrolling into that, you can, but I just don't. I just kind of stay at the top and I read the news, and I don't really care what people have to say about it. So for that, like in that regard, it's very like it's less noisy.
So like, where do you go? Like when you go onto Reddit, I'm an old man. This is about as old man-ish that it gets.
Do you like a Reddit tutorial?
Yeah, like what do you do? You don't go to Reddit.
I mean, I could open it up, but there might be like porn or something in there. I could share it, but snap. You never know. So like the way that I don't know, I'll do my best to do this thing. So I open up Reddit, and I'm brought to like my Reddit homepage. Do you have a Reddit account?
Yes.
So what you need to do is you go into Reddit and you like go follow some of your favorite communities, like your favorite things. They're like topical things. So you can type in Xbox, Nintendo, brands, devices, theories. So like I'll read you through some of my Reddit communities. I'm a part of Reddit Clock Tower, Coronavirus, Donut Media, Fable, Formula One, the Cleveland Browns, the Asus Ally, Red Bull Racing, Ohio State, No More Heroes, Suda. And like, you just keep doing that. You add these things you're interested in, do different podcast info, album leaks, outrage videos, all these different things.
Nice,
and then Reddit's algorithm just delivers you like news and topical things that are happening in these subreddits.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll just open up and kind of scroll through them. Documentaries, Dying Light. Just different things. I literally am following one that's just funny videos, and they just have funny videos. Right,
man. I was gonna take some notes, but this is recorded, so I'll just go back later and maybe get myself started on that. But it feels like I should have known this like 15, 20 years ago. Like I should have known Reddit. Like, I don't know. Seems like something like old people do know.
Yeah, I was going to say that because it feels to me like a newspaper,
like a forum.
Like a forum. But like I said at the top. So like when I open up I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm trying to describe. I'm just seeing the top post. Right. So I'm not seeing this sucks or you sucks or, Xbot or Pony Sony or whatever. Like there's none of that here. What I'm looking if I scroll through this right now, I'm literally the first thing that pops up, according to voice actor Matthew Peretta, Alan Wake 2 will drop in October.
Oh, interesting.
And then I scroll down through here and it says, do we know how the Ally will interact with Steam input?
Yeah.
And I keep scrolling down and
you're giving away all your secrets, man, because every other podcaster is going off of Twitter.
No, I know.
And like this makes you different. Like
this is why the years happened. This is why I was so in on Twitter, was because it was for the podcast in our community. Yeah. That's the only reason I was ever there to begin with.
Totally.
And then over time, I just felt like it became less and less important.
This is, and I know you've said this before, and I probably have heard you talk about this like 50 different times, but like this is a moment for me. Like my mind is kind of like finally understanding, like putting all the pieces together. I always understood like why you would want to move away from Twitter, but like the way that you talk about games and that you have talked about games, like now it makes a lot even more sense than it did already. It wasn't like some weird mystery to me. I always knew that you looked at things differently, but like just what you're consuming is completely different. It's totally different.
I feel like I feel more informed. It's more informative and less. Yeah.
So apparently one day I did sign up for
we overuse
Reddit.
The word toxic, but I mean, Twitter's.
Yeah. It's just opinions.
Yeah. It's pretty that way. And it just feels like everybody's just arguing and screaming all the time. Like there's very rarely do I open any Twitter thread ever and been like, oh, this is a very good conversation about the topic. That never seems to happen.
I think you're right. Yeah.
And then like things, and then you add in like the notifications and the access and what people would send to me or target.
My notifications are off on almost everything.
So yeah. So I like this a lot better. I just scroll through the things that I get to see, the things that I'm interested in.
Well, apparently I've selected a bunch of subreddits.
And if I'm interested
I don't remember
in
ever doing this.
Seeing some discussion or some, like, oh, what are people saying? I just click it and I can see the comments. Mm-hmm. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're bad. But to be honest with you, the majority of the time, I'm not looking at comments. Like I'm just looking at the stuff that I want to see, and I'll make up my own comments.
Interesting. Speaking of being an old man, I know you got to head out to watch Fast X. Yes. I subscribed to PC Gamer magazine for 3 months, Donnie.
Oh,
just to see. And I got my first one in the mail. And it was worth, I don't even know what's in this magazine. The cover is for Diablo 4. I don't even know if I need to read a single page of this, but the nostalgia hit of going to the mailbox and busting out a magazine, like, oh, that was worth it. I think it cost like $20 or something. It's like, that was great. It. Yeah, it was so nice. It's so stupid, but I liked it.
How topical the magazines feel?
Not.
Okay. Like whenever I walk into like a bookstore or coffee shop that has magazines, I'll flip through it and I think to myself, I go, man, I miss this. I like these. Yeah. And then the thing that always holds me back from ever trying to actually do what you just did is I'm always under the impression that like magazine shows up and it's like from a month ago.
You'll know it already.
And it's like forever old information.
For sure. Do you want to just muse for a second? I'm gonna grab it. Maybe I'll thumb through. We'll see what's in there. But the funny thing is, I bought one off the rack, which is way more expensive than it should be. The subscription, it's almost like it's so cheap. So I got the subscription. Then I actually started reading the magazine, and I'm hoping that it was maybe like a one-time thing. But what I started to find was magazine writers are like the only people writing for magazines are actual writers. And I think they think of themselves as a writer. So I remember like I was reading some paragraphs. I'm like, what are you saying? What, like, it's just so fancy. These words are so like, I don't like bulbous.
I'm looking at their website now. I always really liked PC Gamer. That was one of my favorite outlets. I don't necessarily think I still hold that opinion today, but I used to. I used to always love the PC Gamer outlet. I think they did really
Gary
good
Whitta
work.
days. Gary Whitta was like the editor-in-chief, I think.
Oh, wow.
Back when I used to subscribe. Let me go grab. I'll be right back. I'll go.
Go do that. It's pretty nice. I'm looking at. They say, is life with multiple monitors actually better? This is the hard-hitting question donning the PC Gamer website today. And it's got just The Witcher 3 up on like 8 monitors. It's pretty crazy.
Somewhere around here, I have a PC Gamer from 1998, which
Jay says it is.
What's that?
I was looking. The homepage article for PC Gamer today is life with multiple monitors actually better?
Oh, yeah.
And it's got 8 monitors with Geralt's in the hot tub, like all across all of them.
That's awesome. Let's see. Okay, so I'm just going to even flip to the review section. I think there's even a... because the cover is Diablo 4, which I think is probably fine. There's a feature on Hunt: Showdown, which doesn't seem all that relevant right now, but maybe it's just coming to PC and I don't know. The first review is for Everspace 2.
Okay. Yeah, that came out a bit ago.
Then the next one is Resident Evil 4.
I played that for like 20 minutes and I told myself I was going to go back and I just never did.
Everspace 2?
Yeah.
I gotta play it. Yeah, I've got to try it. I was waiting for it. Like I got
it going and started. I installed it and everything. It's still there. And I started playing Redfall and just never came. I'll try it again one day, I guess.
I got to try it. Dredge is the next review.
Oh, great game.
Yeah, right?
That game is incredible. Have you played it yet?
I haven't played it yet.
Oh, it's so good.
This is maybe something we can get into next month, although who knows? I haven't had like a great gaming year. I was like, we are completely the opposite. I've not had a good gaming year. I had high ambitions, high hopes. I haven't played anything like day one, anything new. And I'm not like actually sad about it.
Maybe you're not having maybe you should.
I'm not sad. Maybe it's not the right like phrasing for it. Like I just don't, if we were to have to create like a top 10 games of the year right now, I wouldn't be able to do it. Not even close.
Oh, I've got it.
Like not even top 5.
I've got it at the ready.
Yeah, I know you. And that's like maybe the best way for us to,
but yeah,
kind of compare that.
Dredge is really, really cool.
Haven't played it. No,
really good.
Like I took time off podcasting. Obviously we haven't done this in a long time.
Yeah. We didn't even talk about that.
I know.
You're like, we didn't even have this show forever. We got it all back together. We were talking for like 3 hours. We didn't even address the fact that you went on hiatus. And this show was on hiatus for like half a year.
Yeah. Welcome back. Yeah. Maybe next time. Who knows?
Does it even need to be talked about? I think that's why we didn't talk about it. It didn't even need to be talked about. Sean needed a break and he took a break.
Took a break. Feel good about it.
Nothing interesting we're talking about.
Oh, and we went through a lot of it on
Reddit thread ever.
Yeah, nobody cares. Chia's in this. The one thing here's one thing I really
that's a game that I
haven't
haven't played yet that I want to. Chia's one.
Was that on
PlayStation Plus?
Thank you. Yes, that's the one. Here's what I actually really dislike about this, and this is kind of gives me the sense that this magazine is a little up its own ass, Donnie. The headline of this is a review for Chia. The headline of it says, in big bold letters, heart and soul. The only reason you know that it's a Chia review is like the subtitle, and it's in red over there. Like, just give me the top of the page. This is a blah, blah, blah. The title of the game.
It's a Chia.
Yeah. Yeah. Like just do that. And it's, I don't know, man. So we'll see.
I'm with you.
For right now, it's the logo, the colors, the font, the smell, you know?
Yeah, that game, I did find it. The EA game I was talking about, it's like this magic shooter. It's called Immortals of Avium.
That's a video game.
It is. Yeah. It's coming out soon too.
Yeah. Do you
And,
feel like an even bigger dork when you play that game?
Probably. Coming out in
Like
July.
dork level 7 required.
Yeah, that's what's always held me back on the print magazine.
Yeah.
I would want something that's less timely and more just
Right.
curated and
Mhm.
like storytelling. Like I'd almost want something that's more retrospective. Like, is there a magazine
let's
for
see.
that?
There's
Just seems to me like-
previews. I guess that.
No. That's future looking. I'm thinking like I would want like Video Game History, the magazine.
Oh
Like,
yeah.
every month a magazine comes and just tells you stories of like some console or game of the past. That's like
what,
not timely or at all,
Mhm.
right?
Yep.
That's like what I would be looking for in print. That
Right.
I don't think like PC Gamer
Probably doesn't
or
exist.
Game Informer
Yeah.
or something can provide.
I don't even know if I can get Game Informer here in Canada, in Canadian
Do
land.
they even do Game Informer anymore?
As a magazine, maybe not.
Like, didn't they all get
No.
fired or something?
I don't even know. Like the GameStop.
Yeah.
Like that's where you would get
Yeah.
it from, right? Is GameStop?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think we've got some
Gamer
older
Pro,
issues sitting around
whatever
here
they call
somewhere.
it.
Oh my gosh, I love magazines though. Back in the day, just watch Ryan Turford. Yes, I was thinking the same thing. John 32 with his
Sure, but
retro pit stop retro game.
There's tons of that on YouTube, right? But
Yeah.
like it's not print.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like there's like that's what I would be looking for in print. Like I can sit
Yeah.
down and cozy up with a magazine. Like I got I can't reach it, but I talked about it on Shaq. My wife got me this for my
My wife.
birthday. It's a Super Nintendo Super Famicom visual compendium.
I love it.
And it's like just it's like an encyclopedia of video games.
Yeah.
And you scroll through it and it has these beautiful big vibrant pictures of the game art, 2 or 3
Yeah.
clips of the game, and then it gives you a little story of the game, like when it came out and who made it and little anecdotes and stuff. And it's just a great little thing that I can flip through whenever I'm bored. We're not
Mhm.
really interested in watching like YouTube. And of course, everything in this book is absolutely on YouTube.
Totally.
But there's
Yeah.
only so much like I'm willing to sit there and like my thing with YouTube that's really bothering me lately is like every time I open up YouTube on my app, especially about video games, it's always like some YouTuber's face like overshadowed like some big bold thing. There's like only so much of this I can get to,
Yeah.
right? It's like I'm looking for like that next wave or something. I don't know, it's a little softer.
Mhm.
And I like that a lot about that book. And there are definitely really good YouTube channels, especially for
Yeah.
like game history.
For sure.
Like the
for sure.
Did You Know gaming stuff is really great
Mhm.
if you want to
Yeah.
go through some of that. But sometime like having that in a magazine form would be appealing. But it would
I'm
have
just
to
waiting
be
for them to come back like vinyl. Like
it'd
vinyl
have to
came
be
back.
really high quality.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? Like I wouldn't like some
It's gotta
cheap
stand
thin
out.
paper. Like no, I'd
Mhm.
want like a nice heavy print,
Yeah.
photo glossy type look, and I would totally subscribe to something like that.
My dad did this thing. He had all these. My dad, he was in. I don't know if it was almost like semi-pro racing sailboats. Like he was really into it. So he's got all
Wow.
these sailing magazines that he ended up like putting in like leather-bound books. Like he would bind them. So he's got this like all of his old magazines, but they look really, really nice.
Nice.
And it's funny because like I would buy that. Like I would buy Nintendo Power 1994, like just as all the months put together. I think that would be really interesting. I would pay a high price, and it's not like a looking at the history like you mentioned. Yeah, like I've got a bunch of Nintendo Powers in the other room.
Yeah, I have bought
Actually.
Nintendo Powers recently.
But I would buy them new, but they would be as they were. And I
Yeah.
would say think it'd be interesting to go like what they were reviewing, what they were revealing. And I would buy that today in a updated kind of fashion, like a re-release magazines. I would totally buy that.
3D
Yeah.
Trailblazers.
We've got a pile in the other room. I gave a bunch to Bobby, actually. A lot. Every time I went over there, I would just bring him a whole bunch because I didn't know what to do with them. A friend of mine gave me like an entire box of Nintendo Powers from over the years, and I'm like, I don't know what to like. They just kind of were gathering dust, which maybe is why people don't want to do magazines to begin with.
This
But I
is why
gave a
bought
bunch
mine.
to Bobby. I don't know what happened to him. Oh, look at that! Yes.
I
What
bought,
year is that from?
This is January 2010, and then I bought the one from 2006 as well.
That was a
They-
Nintendo Power from January 2010.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even.
Yep.
I had no clue that they went all the way through to 2010.
So this
Like-
one was this This is No More Heroes 2, and I have
Yeah.
No More Heroes 1 as well.
That's awesome.
But I wanted to get them for the shelf.
If you asked me if Nintendo Power existed alongside Linkin Park, I would have said no.
Oh wow, yeah, like the Wii.
I would have guessed. Yeah. Unreal, man. Holy cow. Shows again timing.
When I think so, I still buy. No, I don't subscribe, but I buy auto magazines.
Right. Yeah.
But like what I'm describing, I get from auto magazines.
That makes sense.
High quality print, heavy book, and I can read stories about old cars that don't care at all about what's happening in the car industry today.
Right.
Like, are not topical at all, or not on the minds, or not current.
Well, how would it compete? Like, how does PC Gamer compete? Like, I'm very curious to see what I actually get out of this. I only did 3-month subscription. I didn't do a full year. So kind of just want to see if I like this, if I even read them.
It's like it's like video game magazines, as I understand them, like the one you're holding, are very like news focused. Where it's like maybe it should be more enthusiastic folks, like more hobbyists.
The first section is actually opinions. Like there's opinion. I mean, they're still about new games, but there's also in the other one, maybe that was just that only issue, but there was like, they did reviews for older games, but as if they played them just now. I thought that was kind of interesting.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Stuff like that is really good.
Yeah.
That'd be the type of content I'd be looking for.
Yes. Oh, look at this. Okay. Page 74, a review of Mass Effect 2. They just played Mass Effect 2 and they just reviewed it.
That's
93.
Awesome. Yeah.
Hades, Dragon's
I guess
Dogma.
they do have some of that stuff.
Yeah. I want to skip to that, honestly.
Yeah, that's what I would read too. That's what I would be interested in reading.
The section 2 cool titles for no cash. So a bunch of recommendations for free to play games, it seems. So I don't know. It's all about the features, really.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, we like reading the articles, not about the pictures.
I just hope that this is like
Playboy taught you that.
Exactly. Yeah, when I was subscribing to that when I was 15 years old.
Patreon goal. Ryan starts a magazine.
That would be amazing, honestly.
The Ryan retrospective.
Okay, Ryan, time for you to source that out. What do we have to print? We gotta go create our own paper, or what? How do we do this?
Printing and shipping.
Ugh.
Gargantuan amount. I mean, that's why this stuff doesn't exist or is going away.
I know.
Like, the media is just dead. And it's sad to say, but it is sad. Just is the truth. Every time we get another so-and-so laid off so many of their game staff, like I'm just like, of course they did.
Mm-hmm. Right. Know? That's so much work. Yeah. I'm like, okay, we're having trouble just like putting out videos, let alone building out an entire, like even just the layout of it, like the work that goes into the visual, like representation, the presentation of all this.
Yep.
Yeah. There's so much.
And I also think it's probably squarely in our demo that we're nostalgic and even want something like that. You know, like nobody younger than us probably even cares or even thinks about something like that.
No, so it's more expensive than it ever even was, and fewer people even want it. And it's this whole thing. I was in Toronto last week, and we were in the building for I think it was the Toronto Star, just a big old newspaper.
Can we get an AI to make the magazines that we want?
Probably.
And just subscribe to that.
Just subscribe to that. Yeah.
I mean, that's the deal. Then it becomes cheap.
Well, it's funny. In that way,
that's a great idea.
People talking about AI like taking people's jobs, but what if it revived people's jobs? Like bring it back from the dead. Bring it back.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Fascinating. That Toronto Star building we were in is coming down.
1% of the company, Jace.
Mm-hmm.
I just need 1%.
Okay, let's do this. We'll have
That's pretty good. Because I bet you
actually
could with all the crazy stuff you're seeing I do. They could do the layouts and everything. Even in digital, like even if you just grab it on your tablet, like that's pretty damn good.
That's the other option I could have gotten with this. I could have got like printed and digital, and I specifically, even though it was like $2 more for the digital one to be included. No. I want to, if I'm going to get this one, I want to be able to like,
I wish I had my magazines. My magazines are over by my chair because that's where I look at them when I sit down, but I've got 12, 15 magazines. I think a couple Rolling Stones and mostly car stuff.
Dude, I just flipped to one of these pages, the history of Diablo, where it all started. So it's a whole feature on.
That's a great article.
Yeah. So look at this.
That's good.
Diablo 2, Diablo 3. Like it's got pages for each one of them. And then looking forward to Diablo 4.
Now you make me want to go get the damn PC game.
Son of a gun. Yeah.
That's pretty good. I wonder if that's on their website.
Probably. one of the reasons I wanted to get this magazine actually was back in the day, like when I was subscribed to this back in 97, 98, graphics cards were just becoming a thing, which is crazy to think about, like 3D accelerators, 3D effects, voodoo cards, things like that. And I was learning a lot about those through the magazine or surround sound speakers, things like that.
Sure.
So that could be another thing too here. Like maybe they could have a different look at just hardware. Again,
what's it called? It's called The History of Diablo.
History of Diablo. Yeah. You're not finding it?
No.
Interesting.
It might just be buried. They only show so many articles, right?
Well, and yeah, what month is this even for? Like how it's always confusing how.
Well, this is terrible indexing. Look at this. How to repair your gear in Diablo 4. How to upgrade your potion in Diablo 4.
This is issue 371 for July 2023.
Maybe quotations? History of Diablo.
Speakers and sound bars. So a bunch of speakers. The hardware section is all full of speakers.
That didn't help.
The Sound Blaster Katana V2. What the heck is this?
Watch this. I'm going to put it in Google or in Bing. History of Diablo. PC Gamer.
Bing got it?
History of Blizzard games on PC.
Okay.
Nope. Still can't get it.
Interesting. Well, look, I got a magazine exclusive.
There you go. Exclusive.
Sean is officially a PC Gamer magazine influencer.
World exclusive.
Oh my gosh.
Now you just need to play the actual PC. Are you playing Diablo on PC?
Diablo 2. When I get the new one, probably. Yeah. Probably Diablo 4 on PC. Yeah. I have been playing Diablo 2 because I bought that and I need to. If I don't play it now, I've got a couple weeks. It's gone. Like I'm never going to touch Diablo 2 ever again.
That's true.
If I don't play it before Diablo
well, that's
4.
Not true. I mean, I played Diablo 2 last year just because.
You can I mean, I guess I have Diablo 3 still, so I could be playing that. But
I don't know when I'll play Diablo 4. I think probably whenever it comes to Switch, but I mean, I have the Ally now, so maybe I'll try it there one day.
It's coming out on June 5th. The game release is on June 5th.
I definitely won't be there anytime early.
Well, and I was looking to see if I could book the day off work like I did with Zelda, and I don't think I can. So then who knows?
I took Monday off.
June 6th.
I was off last Monday to play Zelda, and I just cranked. So I
heard you say that. That was smart. Like everybody did the 5th or did the Friday.
It was great.
So that gets me the whole when you can't see when you can't play a game on the first day, how likely are you to still catch it? I think that's fascinating. Like you're seeing Fast 10, and is this the opening weekend for Fast 10?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So like that's a big thing in movies, especially if you don't watch it.
I hear it's pretty mid. Like people apparently don't like it a whole lot.
Shocking. Wow. I'm gonna have a heart attack and die from not surprised.
But the way that I look at it is I even asked my wife, I was like, hey, if you don't want to go, I'll just go by myself. But like I've watched all the other ones, so
of course.
You gotta see it through at some point. If you're still on the ride now, that would be a weird time to get off, right?
Yeah. Yeah, totally.
I'm going to a new theater today, which I'm excited
about.
Because the theater I go to sucks.
Yeah.
And the last few times I've gone, I've been very like disenfranchised.
Why am I here?
Yeah. I'm like, this is awful. So I'm going to a new one that is cheaper prices, not crazy cheaper, but cheaper prices on tickets. It's about a 20-minute ride, so it's about twice as far away.
Mm-hmm.
But they have self-serve popcorn and drinks.
Nice.
And free refills across the board, and like those big puffy seats, the big cushiony plushy seats.
I can't wait to hear about it.
So I'm excited to see how maybe this theater differs from the theater I've been going to.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot of movies. I have a lot of movies that I'm going. Oh, there I'm seeing it on the extreme screen, whatever that means.
Yeah. Hopefully it's good. I can't stand a quiet theater. It's just awkward, if nothing else.
I have like 10 movies that I wanted to see in theaters this year, and Fast X is like one of them. I feel like this has been a really good year for movies for me.
Man, we have our movie section.
I saw Evil Dead. I saw Cocaine Bear. Evil Dead
I missed Cocaine Bear.
Evil Dead Rise was excellent.
Oh man.
And then Fast X, and then we've got Oppenheimer and Dune come to mind immediately, and I'm sure I'm missing other ones, but there's several movies this year that I really wanted to see in theaters.
So usually the topic kind of comes around where I need to start a new podcast, and I've closed the door to that at least for the foreseeable future. But I want Donnie to start a new podcast. I would like you to have a movie podcast.
I have a movie podcast. I do it once a year.
Once a year,
the
yeah.
Beginning of October.
No, a monthly movie podcast, and maybe we just carve out an hour out of this.
I'm watching. This past week, I was going through the Apes trilogy.
Oh, nice! I never saw anything past the first one, and I love that movie. What a mistake!
They're pretty excellent.
Oh, Jace, what is Jace saying no to? Doesn't want us to have a movie podcast?
Another podcast. Jace's Imaginary podcast. Jace's Imaginary movie podcast.
Dude, the guy... Let's just talk about Jace for about 5 minutes here.
I'm doing that. I haven't spoke or thought of Jace because I'm off Twitter. That's the downside of Twitter, is that you build these relationships, and if they don't follow you to other places of the internet, they're just severed. Part of this.
I think about Jace daily. I wish Jace had a podcast and he could do it on his own, and I think it would be amazing.
Yeah, it's easy for me to keep up with you because we're friends. We'll still chat. Even when you're on hiatus, we would chat. Yeah. But when you're in your podcast, I'm hearing from you weekly, and vice versa.
Same.
We're keeping up with each other. I can't keep up with Jace.
Yeah, because it's live and that's it.
That's he's playing. Yeah.
Jace would be so good at podcasting too. That's the thing. Like, can we just? I think you're such a dick. What do you mean, Woody? He would. I mean,
we had him on a podcast once, and it was terrible.
I thought it was fun, and just because he was saying things you didn't like does not mean he's not good at podcasting.
Saying things I didn't like, or saying things that are just bad.
That's not what makes or breaks a good podcaster. Jace, Woody, I think you did this on purpose. I think Jace is a natural at this kind of stuff, like in a way that very few people are, and it is a crime against humanity that he doesn't have. At the very least, a solo podcast, but I think it'd be interesting to see who he would pair up with. It's not for
a lack of offers and options.
I know. Come on, man. Do this.
You stream. Stop streaming.
Stop streaming, do a podcast, pick up the stream later. He was on hiatus as well, and apparently he was I don't know, worrying about some Honkai thing. I don't know. What is this thing everybody's dorking out about? Honkai Star Rail.
I don't know what that means.
He's live right now. PSVG, I'm sorry, twitch.tv/Backeridge. I don't understand. He's only got like a screen up that says 118 out of 180. Is that like a progress meter of some sort? I don't understand.
I don't know what that means.
So stop streaming and do a damn podcast, because man, people would actually be able to like see and get to know the Jace. Honkai Star Rail, let's go, says Ryan Turford. Of course, Ryan Turford says that.
Yeah, I watched this month I did
movie podcast.
Baby Driver, which I had never seen. It was a first for me. And then my wife and I watched Fear and Loathing, which she had never seen.
Dude, watching that entire movie is obviously it's a trip. Yeah.
And then
sometimes they just watch like the first half an hour or so, because it's got enough moments just within that first half an hour.
I did Taxi Driver.
Nice. Yeah.
And then, so now Fast X.
I like it.
I'm starting to make plans for my horror movie run.
Oh,
I haven't got there yet, like there, but I feel like it's starting to come on, which is pretty normal.
Yeah.
I take like a break for like the first half of the year, and you get me to like July.
You start to
all right, let's start cranking them in here.
I was just starting to think, like, why haven't I been watching movies? The reason I haven't in the last month or so is because I was watching hockey playoffs, which for me are over now that the Oilers are out. I know you don't care, but I also was watching a bunch of Dragon Ball Super DVDs from the library, which I've been enjoying very, very much. Yeah. So I'll get back to movies. I'm like, I've been beating myself up. Like, I got all these movies. I've been meaning to watch them, but literally the DVD tray, the slot in my Series X has been Dragon Ball Super DVDs from the library. I'm a grown-ass man. I am married with kids. Who cares, man? I'm living my best life. Ryan Turford, all of a sudden a Florida Panthers fan.
I don't know. What?
Yeah, exactly. Who cares, Donnie? So Honkai : Star Rail. I don't know what this is.
More interested in that than hockey.
Well, that's not surprising. Jace, what's going on in the corner of your screen? What exactly? What? I don't even understand this. Anyway, Jace needs a podcast. There are no Panthers in Florida. Probably not. Just like there's no music in Utah.
It's definitely not the place of jazz, right?
The New Orleans Jazz moved to Utah where they don't allow music. Oh, you're playing Harvest Moon. Oh, that's cool. Neat. Okay, yeah, I see. He's actually playing. Neat.
Is it?
Yeah. What do you? I feel like you're not like this. I feel like you're bringing other people energy into this when you say things like that.
For Harvest Moon?
Yeah, when you're like, yeah,
no.
Well, or the Woody.
Well, I only have my experience. My experience with the trial run of podcasting Jace wasn't great.
I've had him on
vetoed all of vetoed all of my favorite things.
Well, that doesn't make him not good at podcasting.
No, it does. It does.
Okay, well,
especially when we were ranking the Mario Kart tracks and nobody even realized that you went upside down and it's the whole magnetic thing that we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, what? I was like, what?
We've never apparently played the Mario Kart games, the tracks. When do we get more Mario Kart tracks? When is
that was fun. That was a fun experience. We should have Jace
come on, Jace.
But not to talk about Harvest Moon.
Well, I like hearing a lot of people geek out about whatever they like.
Absolutely not. None of that.
Well, we disagree. Your Donnie's over there. This has always been established.
That's true. Yeah, it's been a decade of just that.
Yeah. Well, all out of Married to the Games, apparently.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That's kind of crazy to think about.
They're still going too.
They're still going. They're marching towards episode 600.
I chatted on one of their threads for a podcast. They were asking for questions or something on Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And I submitted a question. Nice. I was like, what is this, 2011 again?
Facebook. No kidding. Yeah.
Right?
The same feeling going to Facebook to send in a question as me getting this magazine out of the,
same
box. Yeah, I think it's exactly.
I created a Facebook when I decided to leave Twitter so I could back up my photos and stuff.
That's smart. Yeah.
I don't really use it. I use it for like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah.
But like outside of that, I don't really use it.
I think I'd only make bad decisions on Facebook Marketplace, like things I don't really need, but they're cheap enough that I start to make stupid choices with my money.
It's good for car stuff and like household stuff.
Yeah.
It's good for that too.
Yeah. I need some stuff for my car.
Like if you need like a shelf or
some
moving bins or something, it's great for stuff like that. A chair.
Yeah. I don't need anything. I need to get rid of things. That's what I need to do.
Get rid of stuff.
Just get rid of stuff.
Got the, the gamer set up behind you.
I know. Honestly, dude, like it actually
the cubbies.
Lately, I have been thinking about that because I want to do like anybody. You want to get your finances maybe a little bit better in order. Not that we're totally terrible about it, but I'd like to have a bit better of a plan. But I did make a note, like what could I sell back here? For the first time, I've never thought that way about any of this stuff.
I thought about cashing in on some of my Last of Us stuff.
Yeah,
because the HBO series was so hot, and like all the stuff seems to be like up. Yeah, I'm seeing like I have the problem is I have no idea what my stuff is really worth.
Right.
But I also know like what it's probably worth to me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't necessarily know if those numbers like make out.
Yeah.
But I've seen like single autographs over like 8x11s and stuff for like $1,000. And I'm like, if there are people willing to do that, like what is my stuff worth?
Well,
it's worth significantly more than that.
Certificate of authenticity. I mean, I feel like you've got video evidence.
Oh, I do. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I've got evidence of all of my autographs.
That's awesome. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like, I don't have a lot of space here, Donnie. Like, I can touch this. Like,
so you just want to thin it out so you can make room to buy new stuff.
Maybe that's it.
Yeah. We've all been there.
But there's also like, in my mind, I'm minimalist, but in reality, I'm not.
Definitely.
Like in my mind, I think like I'd like this to be bare and clean and everything. And it's definitely not how I live my life. And I haven't in a long, long time.
My house is definitely like my basement definitely has like a lived in cluttered chic.
Same. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff everywhere in every corner and everything.
I just don't like, I bump into things. Like, I feel like I'm always like stepping over something. Like, get out of my bathroom here. I'm like, I'm tripping over this or that. And it's like,
wow,
it's not a good time for me. I don't like it. This chair is actually bigger. So I'm having.
But what stuff would you buy? What do you replace it with?
I don't know. That's what I mean. Like, I don't even know if I would replace with anything, but just to have a little bit more space.
Yeah, but I think we both know that if you thinned it out and had room, then when the next time something came along, you'd be like, I got room.
Well, apparently magazines. Apparently
I got a place for it to go.
I
That's old man energy. That's when you know like you've transitioned over. It's like me.
Oh,
I bought a Walkman.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I heard you talking about that.
That's that kind of energy.
Mm-hmm.
I have just a damn Walkman that I use for my car. I don't know where it is.
Yeah, I'd get an iPod if I could find like an old school with a wheel.
This thing is pretty cool.
What are you listening to in that? Like, what tapes do you got going on in there?
Tapes?
Yeah,
it's not that kind of Walkman.
What do you mean?
That's why I grabbed it. I want to show it to you because I think you might like it actually. This is a cool thing.
MP3 Walkman?
Yeah, it is. It's like an iPod. So Sony Walkman. This is how big it is.
Is this the kind of thing that like, is this what Kojima has? I feel like he takes pictures of.
Hang on, I got an iPhone, right?
Yeah.
This is how big my iPhone is.
Okay.
This is how big this Walkman is.
Oh, snap. I'm glad you did that. That is small. Yeah. Right?
It's little. And it takes a minute to boot up. So I'm trying to like waste time here while I wait for it to turn on.
It's as big as a Zune over there.
It's way smaller than a Zune.
I don't remember how big a Zune is.
Zunes were huge.
Were they really?
You could use a Zune was a personal anti-theft device. Like you could pull that out and just chuck it at somebody trying to like take your purse and you would incapacitate them.
Yeah, man.
And it was literally like a flapjack. Like if a WCW wrestler had pulled out a Zune and hit somebody with, like I would not have blinked. I would have been like, God. Oh yeah, he's going for the Zune. He's going for the Zune.
He did a tombstone pile driver straight onto a Zune.
If in a pinch, an NHL hockey team ran out of pucks and had to use a Zune to replace it, like I would get it.
Oh my gosh.
I would totally understand.
Okay.
Those things were massive. But fun. I enjoyed my Zune a bit.
Is it still starting up? Is that why you're going on about Zune?
I'm wondering if I need to reboot it. I'm wondering if I need to reboot it again, or if it might be updating. But anyway, the reason I got this thing is it started to make headlines earlier this year, late last year, that they were releasing a new Walkman, and they released it in Japan first. Mm-hmm. You couldn't even buy it over here for a long time. And these new Walkmans are expensive. They're little Android players. And that was like the first thing that I got into it because it does run Android. So now it's starting. I got a little Breath of the Wild thing going on.
That took a long time.
So it runs Android. It has its own music player, like its own setup, but it also can tie into anything that you already subscribe to. So if you're a YouTube music player or a Spotify subscriber, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
But the reason that I got it, it did patch, it did update. That's why it took so long. Because now I'm being asked to accept new policies and stuff. Damn, I can't even get to what I want to show you.
Goodness gracious. I do.
There's a reason I bought this thing. There's a very specific reason I bought this thing.
As soon as you said Android, I'm like, I'm out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I don't like Android.
Really?
Yeah. I made up my mind, Donnie, and I'm sticking to that until the day I die.
What's happening? It's trying to get me to connect headphones or something.
Can you connect wired headphones in?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's got wired, and you can do Bluetooth. And you can do AirPods.
That's a plus. Yeah.
Anything else? Okay, now we're here.
But like, why have a separate device from your thing that already plays music?
I'll tell you.
I know Bobby Miller, and Jace. A lot of people. This is something that probably could end friendships. The Android versus iOS arguments. That's worth the money right there. Just like it looks like a cassette tape.
Yeah.
Yeah, it does look cool.
So the reason I got this,
I got a mini disc player.
I got this for the Roadrunner, because of its size. Yeah. Because you got to think in the car, in my Roadrunner, I don't have power outlets.
Right. Doesn't have USB.
Charge phones and stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So I noticed when I started driving the car that like if I was using my phone to connect to my Bluetooth speakers and GIS nav or something, like I'd drain the battery like super quick. And it really made me like, okay, consider like how far I'd be willing to drive the car. I don't go too far where I don't have power, or make sure I have a battery bank with me or something, like just in case. You never want to be anywhere, and not have a cell phone.
Makes sense.
Like, that's not a great place. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna get a music player for the car so I can at least offload that. GIS one on the other end, right? So I got this one because it does have this tape overlay. It plays on everything in the library. So as I'm switching songs and stuff, like different tapes come through and changes colors and stuff, cool. And it plays while you're playing. And because it's so small, I put a magnet on the back of it, and I put a magnet on my dash, and it sits right into my dash like it's like the radio.
That would look great. Yeah. Nice. Yeah. How much was that? How much you pay for that?
It's like
$400.
Maybe.
Did you really?
Oh, I don't know.
Does it do like some sort of FLAC, like just really high quality?
That's the thing.
Like,
yeah, it does all the lossless audio. Like, that's its thing.
I would notice that.
And it has, I'm kind of not doing a really good job of selling it. It has like a whole AI, like listening program, to where it can insert like radio cracks and stuff if you want to have like that authentic vinyl sound as like a vinyl equalizer.
Yeah,
it's got like a bass boost and all that. It's got a smart listening that'll auto level all of your songs and all that. So it's the music experience.
I'm down. Like I definitely, I'm not the audiophile that I ever once was. If I like it, maybe at entry level at that, but I can appreciate a good audio experience. Yeah. Like I think I've toned everything down just for the sake of space more than anything. Like we used to have a really good home theater system here that I miss quite a lot. Sold it for pennies on the dollar.
$217.49.
Okay. Yep. Kind of reasonable. What kind of memory are we talking about on that thing?
64 gigs.
Expandable?
Yep.
Okay. Yep.
They retail for your Walmart, same model.
What's it called? The Sony something? So is it a
Sony
Sony Walkman?
A300 series. Retail at $349.98. I got mine from, I went to eBay, but I realized I didn't get mine on eBay. I got mine from some like music store that sells like guitars and stuff. That's why I got it, because it was on sale.
The SonyShop.ca sells the NWA306.
I think that's what I got. Yeah,
$479. Gosh, that's expensive.
That's too much. That's way too much.
This might be like did you say the 300?
That when I looked at the retail, it said 300. I think mine's the 306. Mine is the 306, NWA 306.
Remaining high-res audio, DSD playback, high-res audio, wireless 360 reality. There's one here for $1,200. What the heck is this?
Now, like I'm
ZX707.
I spent an entire day. You'll like this story. I spent an entire. What time is it? Okay, it's almost 4. I'm okay. I'm okay for at least like 10 minutes.
Okay.
When I got it, to make the music player like do the tape and all that, you have to play the music from Sony's music player. You can't do it from like Spotify. Spotify has its own program, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I had to download all of my music. Well, you can't just download songs from like, I use YouTube Music. You can't just download YouTube Music files. Yeah. So, and I wanted to download a lot of music because I don't know about you or other people out there might be listening to us at this point, but I carry around like tons of music with me. I've been like curating my favorites list for a decade. I think my favorites list is like 8,000 songs.
What platform do you use? Spotify?
YouTube. I use YouTube Music.
Oh, YouTube. Right. Yeah, sorry.
So the thing that helped me out is because I use YouTube Music, my playlists are backed up on YouTube.
Right.
Like you can listen to YouTube Music, but if I just go into my YouTube account, all the playlists and videos are still there. Like as you add one, it creates the other. So because I could do that, I actually found like, I don't know, some hacker program that I downloaded that I was able to feed this YouTube URL to, and it went through it and automatically, like systematically went through and downloaded all of the songs. It took hours. It looked like Napster over here. Yeah, exactly. But then you'll appreciate this. They weren't in the right file format.
Oh,
So then I had to get a file converter and
Yeah.
convert all of the songs to the other one and then
That's
move
too
them into
much.
the SD card and then put them in just so I can make sure that I'm always carrying
You got
my
the whole
full
experience.
my full music, no network required, no streaming
Yep.
allowed, my
Yep.
full music library with me at all times.
I love it. No, that's nice. If you're gonna have something like a Walkman with you, you can't have any of the newfound conveniences. You got to
But it
have
did
the
make
whole.
me, because I'd put in the effort to do all that, it definitely made me go, do I still need to subscribe now?
Mm,
Because like when new music comes out, I could just download it
yeah.
and just
Yeah.
add it to the Walkman. But I'm still gonna keep it because we YouTube Premium, so I have ads and stuff on
Right.
YouTube. So it's like it's YouTube Music's
That's
really more
bundled
of a,
in, isn't
it's more
it?
of a throw in than a
Yeah.
yeah.
Because as much as I really dislike the idea of paying for YouTube, because we've grown up with it, it's been free this whole time. It's a
Oh,
pretty good. It's
yeah,
a pretty. Yeah.
I
it's
know
good.
years ago people were like, I remember they started doing ads, they started doing more ads and stuff, and there was like a huge outrage on Twitter, and it was like, I
Yeah.
can't believe they're doing this to make us pay. I'm like, it's totally worth it.
Yeah.
There have been
I think
very
it
few subscriptions that I've adopted in my life that I think less about than YouTube Premium.
It's just such a crazy, like, hard line in the sand that people just don't want to pay for YouTube. And it's so ingrained in our everyday life. Like, I think I just need to bite the bullet, and I think we just need to do it. Because you're right. I've
if
had
you
like those
try it,
trials.
You'll
I've had
never
the
go
trials.
back.
I have gone
You'll-
back, and it's not good.
It's
not
awful.
a good experience.
It's
Yeah.
terrible. I tried
Yeah.
I tried not doing the premium and like just, so we have the bundle. I have the YouTube Premium for the family, which includes YouTube Music.
Ooh.
Everybody in my family can listen to anything they want on all of their platforms,
Yeah.
all their songs, all their music, and nobody ever watches ads
Mm.
for the entire family, like all 5 accounts.
How much is that?
Oh, it was $18 a month or something like that.
For the family? Holy
Yeah.
cow.
Piece of cake. This is
Oh, yeah,
why
that's a
I've
no-brainer.
never, this is
Yeah.
why I've never moved to Spotify.
Yeah.
Like I feel like the world is on Spotify.
Yeah.
I'm
That's
definitely
why I
one of,
kept asking. Like,
I'm
another
one of
person
the
on Spotify.
few on YouTube, right?
Yeah, you are one of the few.
And I
for
feel
sure.
left out because people share their playlists and they got cool little
Mhm.
rappers and player. YouTube Music doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I can share playlists, but it's not as cool.
Yeah.
Like
But
the
it's also
Spotify
not.
experience seems better.
If
but
nobody else is
anytime
on YouTube Music, who cares? if you can
Anytime I
share it?
ever try to think of switching, I'm like, yeah, but YouTube Premium though.
Yeah.
Like, I'd have to carry both. I couldn't.
The YouTube.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I couldn't turn it off because it is terrible trying to go back.
I'm not locked in. I currently have Apple Music, but I don't feel like a particular, like, I don't need to be on Apple Music for really any reason. I don't think there's anything exclusive really about it. It's just that,
do you have
like,
a lot
my
of,
history
like,
there.
I was gonna say, do you have like curated lists and stuff and like a library?
Not a ton. Like, I've got like a running playlist, and there's
So
stuff that like
you'd be the
what
idea
I've
of switching. You'd be
before.
like, oh, I'll just rebuild it.
I would just need to rebuild my library. Like, I like
Okay.
adding an album to.
So
a
for
library.
me, that gives me like a great deal of stress because my
Which part?
my playlist is forever, like it's so deep that
yeah,
I feel like if I was to
That
switch
locks you in.
platforms, I'd
Mhm.
lose. Something would get lost. I would lose some favorite band or song that I couldn't remember. Right.
right. And I think that's where I was. I'd have to double check on this. At some point, I determined I should just stay on Apple Music because back in the day, on the iTunes days, I would rip my CDs into my iTunes library, and that has carried over even now. So bands like Tool was a good example of this, although it doesn't really matter anymore. Tool for a long time didn't have their music available on Spotify or Apple Music or anything, but I had it in my Apple Music because I had previously
Mhm.
ripped those CDs.
Yeah.
Now Tool does, and I feel like most artists and albums are there.
You now
There's one-
reminded me the reason why I chose YouTube over Spotify. Back when I adopted this, to Phil Spencer's point, that people are building digital libraries that they're afraid
Right.
to leave. To Phil
Yeah.
Spencer's point, back in whenever this was, 2010 or whatever, when I decided which path to go with, I chose YouTube because you could load local music. And I had been carrying around for years
Mhm.
my Napster ripped library of music that I've been adding
Right.
to.
Yep.
And I could add it to that and I could play it. And not only that, it and back then it was Google Play Music. I could add YouTube videos. So if I
Right.
saw like a live cover or somebody else's cover, if I just found a cool musician on YouTube that wasn't famous, but I really like the song, I can just add it to my YouTube music library. No questions asked. Just piece of cake, add to the playlist, and it's done. You can't do that on Spotify.
Like based on the link, that's all you would need, and it would just add it to your.
Yeah, no, literally anything that's on YouTube. If I Google it in YouTube Music, it's just there, and I can add it to my.
But you don't need to like download it and then like upload it over there. Like, so what happens with Apple Music that I actually, one of the reasons this is another thing I actually lose, I think. With We the Gamercast, I would often, or every episode, I would introduce the guest. I would say, and now here's Donnie Reese, and it would cut to like a OC remix song.
Yeah.
And so I have all those downloaded, and once I played them, it would add it to my Apple Music library, and it just now can listen to it anytime. It'll stream it as if it's hosted on Apple Music. If that makes sense. So that's one thing that's another thing I would lose if I were to switch somewhere else, is I would have to somehow get all those OC remix songs back onto whatever Spotify.
And that's how they keep subscriptions, right? Like they make it inconvenient.
It's not that big a deal. Like, it's not like I've got those things in a whole bunch of different places. Like, they're organized.
Sure.
And it's all good. Because even when you play the first time, Apple Music or iTunes will do that for you.
Because I was thinking when I was thinking of switching, like there is no like converter box. There's no like tie my YouTube account to my Spotify account. Make sure
that's crazy.
Make sure all of my favorites are over here.
Right.
That's not a thing.
Like when you go from Chrome to Edge or whatever.
Right.
Like there's a way
there's no bookmark transfer.
Yeah. How is that not?
Maybe there is. Start over.
You just haven't looked at it. And I don't know why I think I should switch over to Spotify. I actually don't even like. It just seems alluring for some.
Yeah, and I agree with you. I think it's cool. It looks cool. Yeah. It's like definitely where all the kids are.
Exactly.
But the fact that I couldn't, like, I think they got it to where I don't remember exactly what it was, but like you can load music, but like I don't know, you can't stream it or something. It's not available.
Right? Yeah, there was
something about that.
Yes,
and that was a huge. That was like absolute deal breaker.
Totally. Yeah, I remember that back in, and it might be different
because like you, I had bands that either didn't have music or like this is gonna date me. I am a big fan of Sean Mullins.
Mm-hmm.
Remember him from the 90s?
Yep, of course.
And I have an album of his that I bought at my first concert of him. That is a live album that he recorded in Seattle. That is by far and away the best album he's ever done. It was just at a live concert. And every Sean Mullins fan would agree if they've ever heard it. That's the best album he's ever made.
Yeah.
And of course I have it ripped and saved forever because I love the album. Can't listen to it on Spotify. It's like, well, this is a huge deal breaker. I'm never going to listen to this again.
There was I can't remember if you like Audio Slave or not.
Oh yeah. I love Chris Cornell.
Their
Absolutely
third, it was
love
just
Chris Cornell. I love everything he's ever done.
Man, too. Holy cow. Their third album is not on Apple Music. Can't get it. And it's one of my. I actually think I like that better than the second one. Actually, better than.
You listen to Songbook?
No. Oh yeah. For Chris Cornell's Songbook. Yeah.
So good. Incredible.
Yeah. So is that on Spotify then? I need like a table. I want to compare.
Yeah.
Spotify. Like, what are the? Because I don't think I
do. I can see the gears going and breaking.
Yeah, but you know what though, Donnie? Like the second we're done here, I'm either reading this or playing Zelda. I've got to.
Play Zelda.
Or mowing the lawn.
What are we doing? Should be playing Zelda.
We should be playing. That's the thing.
Podcasting on. Play Zelda.
Yeah, maybe we'll do that.
That's so good.
All right. Well, is that how we close things up? Okay. Play Harvest Moon? Probably not.
Definitely not.
Just make
Sean
good video games.
Better than Harvest Moon video games.
Damn.